Hello, welcome aboard. My name is Ethan Monsoor. Welcome to the very, very start of the Bright the Day charity stream event. I'm so excited to have you guys here, and I'm even more excited that we're going to be doing something very, very helpful to children. Let me go ahead and explain a little bit about our charity before I get into the extremely cool and talented people we have here today on the stream. The Bright the Day charity is still going on all the way through tonight's episode of D4, so the donations are limited to... let me go ahead and... The donations for each game are going to be a little bit different, but this charity, we're doing this charity to help the kids. Your blessings give children the advantages they need, to put it in D&D terms. We want to thank everyone who has tuned in and donated so far today, because we already have a couple of donations. We know it is a lot for people to donate at any time, as sometimes we just don't have the extra money to spare. If that's the case, no worries. All we ask is that you spread the word to bring more attention to our efforts. As a reminder, the charity is in support of the Emory Johns Creek NICU in honor of where Ellie and Ian's son Killian was born. Everything raised for this charity will go directly to the hospital to help fund their underfunded and underappreciated NICU. We have already raised some money, so let's see if we can reach our goal, and so we can help children get the chance to a life filled with adventure. There's a QR code right here on the overlay if you want to use that to get directly, or you can go to the website down there, the bit.ly/D4Brighton. This is a great way for you to give. And just to give you an idea of some of the incentives you can get from donating here, for every $1, I will give you a shout out. For $5, you can give one of the players, one of these excellent players, +3 on their rolls that they can use whenever they want. For $10, somebody's weapon will morph at a sudden strange moment. You give me a number 1 through 36, and I will give you the corresponding mutation. For $20, you get healing time, which they have right now. Thank you so much for that donation, by the way, where you can provide a player of your choice with the 1d6 healing. We'll say that it's floating right now, and anybody can use it when they want. $50 to give someone a new trait are the superpowers of this game of Fist, which I will explain shortly. And then $100 if you want to shunt the players into another dimension that I will make up on the spot with absolutely no prep. I love that sort of thing. So let's talk a little bit about the game we're going to be playing today. Today we're playing Fist, otherwise stands for Freelance Infantry Strike Team. This is a very fantastic game I recently discovered by Claymore, who she is amazing and an excellent writer and has been a huge help in getting this off the ground. So thank you very much, Claymore, for all your help. We'll be posting links into the chat so that you can actually visit Claymore yourself and take a look at her and like her Discord, which I fully suggest everybody should join. The games that she makes, Fist itself, her Twitter. It's just fantastic seeing all the work that they put in. That Discord is absolutely amazing. I'm in there all the time. So if you want to see me in the D4 Discord or in that one, I'll be there. Fist is a game about tactical supernatural beings, sort of on the same vein of Metal Gear Solid or the Doom Patrol. It is a very high lethality, badass, tactical game where you just kind of have these supernatural beings that are fighting the most strange and unique problems that even the world's most powerful intelligence agencies are blind to. So I recommend 100% you check it out. Every setting is a little bit different for Fist. There is no pure canon. So our canon streaks from Fist used to be a much larger organization during World War II. Over the course of the 50s, they were slowly dissolved in a manner that was sort of strange and hard to understand until eventually Fist was no longer there. As all the agents were left with resumes that didn't really fit into most other jobs due to their supernatural place in the world, they were systematically hunted down by the evil group Cyclops, which is sort of like a dark mirror to Fist, whereas Fist works from the bottom of the military-industrial complex. Cyclops is at the top. They basically represent the man. They have moles all over every intelligence agency. They are extremely powerful. They have money beyond a belief, but thankfully we have Fist here to fight them. So let's get to know some of our Fist characters before we get into play. Let's start at the top with Devin. Devin, who are you playing, and what are your traits?
I am playing Codename Singularity. My role, if we're going to talk about that, is Repentant. We won't discuss why I'm repentant, but my traits are Atmokinesis, where I control gravity, and Detonator. I go boom sometimes.
Occasionally.
Not explode, more implode as gravity kind of swells into a singularity.
Absolutely. Jorge, would you please explain your character's codename and their traits, please?
It's me, RoboGoblin. And today I'm going to be playing codename Spectro. My role is the Avenger, and my traits are Freeze, which means that I can freeze time. Henching, which is I can transform myself into something else. And Cyborg, let's just leave it at that.
I love that. Fantastic. Spectro, we're very excited to see you. We'll move right on down to Kate. Kate Osborne, thank you so much for joining.
Hi.
Who are you playing, and what are their traits?
Hello, everybody. I'm Kate. I'm going to be playing codename Magpie, whose role is punk, because I'm very cool. And my traits are telekinetic, but I'm not going to tell you what. And then also safecracker, because I watched Ocean's 11 immediately before agreeing to play this game.
That's what I'm talking about. Awesome. Rock on. Lucia, would you please explain your character and the traits?
I am playing the character Tremors, who their role is a wild card, and my traits are centipede and hybrid. So I appear as a sort of half human, half chihuahua. But it's not a very good hybrid. I sort of look like a human who's been like draped with a chihuahua taxidermy. So yeah.
Love it. And Lauren Irvin, thank you as well for joining us. What is your codename and who will you be playing?
My codename is Thanatopsis, but you can just call me Thana. It makes it way easier. I have the morbid trait, which is going to come in very handy when a bunch of us die, because I get really excited because I get to talk to my friend. Also, I get this really cool scythe, which don't be worried about the fact that it actually is my left arm, because my other trait is prosthetic. Sometimes turns into a gun. Sometimes it's a scythe. It's really, really cool. I like it a lot. I'm a scholar because I'm trying to figure something out.
I love it. All right. Well, that's our cast of characters, and you're going to get to know them even better. Just so you guys know, on an in-play level, you all already know each other. You guys have worked on teams before across what's left of Fist. And we are going to start things off with you guys being reached out to by your handler, who we are going to, let me go ahead and get, boom. You know, I'm very professional, have everything already up in here. Elsa Jang, who she's kind of a very terse woman. She's got, like, you notice that her fingers are all mechanical. She wears a black and gold dress that looks like it's heavily armored towards her torso, with a very large fur kind of like accent to the actual dress itself. She has kind of messy black hair that's always tied up in a bun. She is all business, and she handles most of the handling for for Fist ever since you guys were kind of systematically hunted down in your homes. Just to note that you guys are some of the only survivors of the Cyclops attack. And remember at home that your Fist game can have any sort of variation you like of your backstory. It's one of the fun things about it. Ilsa will have you all sitting at a table on your in your base that's sort of like on a deserted island. You're in like a large cement bunker, the outside of which looks real haggard and awful, but on the inside it's decent. Not as nice as it used to be ever since funding sort of went out the window. Ilsa is going to kind of sit down and stare at you all for a moment, and she will say, "We have a very interesting opportunity before us. A strange mission, even by Fist standards. That's why I've called all of you."
Was that a dramatic pause? I know I'm trying to get better at this, but was that an actual dramatic pause?
Then Topsis, if you please allow me to finish.
I'm just going to say it's a cool dramatic pause.
She frowns, not enjoying the fact she was called out for her dramatic pause. And she will continue. Our role in the world is often that we are facing things that nobody else can. In this particular case, we are facing something that many civilians will be a part of. That is unique even by our stretches of the imagination. We are sending you to a cruise ship that is apparently labeled the Thin Walls Cruise, where all of you will be needing to find a way on board the ship in order to investigate what is going on. We have it on good authority that there are Cyclops agents investigating. And of course, if Cyclops is looking, that means there's good reason for us to be looking as well, to make sure they're not attempting to take advantage of a situation that is quickly going to spiral out of control. We know very little about the Thin Walls Cruise, except that only the most expensive and luxurious individuals are able to be a part of this thing. As such, we do not have the funding necessary to give you tickets. It'll be up to you to determine how to get onto the actual cruise ship itself. We know the location of where it'll be, which is outside Miami. And we will hope that all of you will be able to get aboard and determine what it is the Thin Walls Cruise is really doing. It is our understanding that they only have one cruise a year. And this is the only time of year that they are going to be available for us to investigate. Now, we know the cruise director is an individual named Mr. Vivori, and I will type that to you guys. Mr. Vivori does not appear to have a legal first name. Another reason for us to be a bit curious as to what exactly is going on there. He is apparently only seen on board the ship after we've attempted to send some of our most prestigious field agents to hunt him down after the ship docks, but we were unable to find him, nor were we able to find all of the members of the actual cruise itself. Any civilians that were aboard, some made it off and some didn't, but the ones who made it off after investigation determined it was the most moving thing they've ever been a part of, whatever that would mean.
I mean, it's a cruise ship. It moves.
Are there any questions? Yes, Thanatopsis.
Okay, so if they call it the Thin Wall Cruise, but it's supposed to be like really, really expensive, does that mean all the walls are thin and you can like hear the people going on doing stuff in the other cabin? Because that doesn't sound really expensive to me.
That sounds gross.
Right?
Tremors, you had a question?
Well, I was sort of just scratching my head, but I mean, what if we don't like water?
Well, hopefully this will not end with the ship in the water. However, if it does, due to necessity, I don't think anybody's going to be upset here at Fist. My understanding is that when we've tracked the ship prior, we lost sight of it somewhere around 20 miles outside of the docks.
Wait, you don't even know where the ship is?
We know where the ship is going to be to bring passengers aboard. Once it sends out, we're not entirely certain where it goes.
Okay.
Perhaps back in, a few years ago, we would have had the funding necessary to do more. As is, we're kind of doing everything by the seat of our pants, so to speak.
Is this a Bermuda Triangle situation?
We could assume that this is similar to the Bermuda Triangle situation, yes. By the way of which we want to thank you for your contribution to that mission.
If it's a Bermuda Triangle situation, I may have to sit this one out. I don't think I'm allowed back there right now.
No, you're not, and but thankfully, we don't think it's going to reach that far. Yes, Dana.
What's the Bermuda Triangle situation? What was that?
Let's just say that there are several cities that are going to be missing for some time in the future, but we managed to prevent more than a country disappearing. Is there anything from you, Spectra?
So what I'm getting is that everybody needs to infiltrate this cruise. And so do we need to get these special suits, or do we need to go shopping before we go into this really expensive cruise?
I believe so. Anything that would allow you to look as though you are extremely wealthy would be good. My recommendation, of course, is to steal your clothing, as we do not have tremendous amounts of funding. However, we do have the means to provide some manner of disguise to those of you that are more obviously inhuman. As she looks to, I believe, Singularity, you look like... Am I wrong in saying that you look like a floating ball of gas?
I don't look like a ball. I do have a humanoid-esque form, but it's more so akin to like a shadow. There is in the center of like my chest where the heart would be, you can feel like this gravitational pull around all the time. And it's just kind of this miasma of what would almost feel like a negative energy, like dark matter, that you can see when you look upon this creature. And when he speaks, he obviously has no esophagus, no lips, no tongue, no teeth. It's more so the manipulation of the air around your ears that creates this like low hum vibration that is almost unsettling to listen to.
Love it. She will produce several what look to be like devices that look like they have definitely been stolen from Cyclops, and she will pass them out to any of you that don't look human. For those of you that don't look human, I believe that would be Tremors to an extent, that Thana, definitely Singularity. I don't know if Spectro looks human now.
I pretty much look human, but I'm more of a 80% opacity human.
Got it. And I don't know about Magpie. How human does Magpie look?
Oh no, Magpie just looks very human. I mean, honestly, I was just going to suggest, like, maybe we could just get some big trunks and everyone could just sort of, like, come in with me in, like, I don't want to say get in the trunk, but, like, I could pass pretty easily, I think. And Singularity, like, you look like you could probably fit in a duffel bag if you tried really hard.
It would actually not be very hard at all.
See what I mean? This is the flexibility that I'm talking about.
I'm totally up for a makeover, but I'm also kind of excited about being smuggled. I've never been smuggled before.
Well, I'll leave the details of how you do this to yourselves. I have other meetings to attend to. I trust
Director,
that all of you will... Yes.
I have a question.
Of course, Singularity.
What is Cyclops' interest in this? What has their activity been recently?
My understanding is that they had some stakeouts. We had Agent Manhattan watching the area for some time. He came back and stated that they were staking out the area much like we were, and our assumption is that there will be agents that are slipped onto the ship as well in an effort to investigate the means of what they're doing here. It is an extremely exclusive list. I want to make it clear you will need to blend in for some time. Once you're aboard the ship and it's set off, I assume you will be able to do whatever it is you need to do to understand what they're doing and whether it needs to be put to an end.
My next question is, these are the upper echelon. Money is one thing, but power is another. Will there be world leaders, scientists, people of power?
Scientists, yes. World leaders, I assume not. They do not... My understanding is that they do not go out of their way to bring individuals on that will draw a tremendous amount of attention. What you will find are black market weapons dealers and the such like that. They're not going to be looking for people to draw attention to themselves. As I said, this is a very exclusive cruise.
This sounds like my kind of cruise. Honestly, this sounds like I'm going to know a lot of people on this boat. So
You very well might. Thana, yes.
How big is this boat, and how many people are going to be there?
It is a very large ship. However, if sources are correct, we can assume that there is only somewhere around 75 guests, 100 guests.
So, okay, I'm not trying to say that this is a bad idea from the start. Like, I want to go in with, like, you know, positive mental attitude. But if the guest list is locked down tight and this is a boat full of very rich and important people, aren't they going to notice if all of a sudden there's 101?
There is the possibility, but I trust that you're all professionals and you'll be able to do whatever it takes to make things work.
Also, just out of curiosity, how much is a ticket? Like, how much
That-
money?
And remember, we are set in 1960. Just to be clear, this is set in 1960. Each ticket is roughly $500,000.
$500,000?
Yes.
Is it all inclusive? Do you at least get like margaritas? Like that's
the bar. Yeah, bar
that's-
better be like all you can
like
eat bar.
what's the
Yeah.
stateroom situation?
I'm sure we
I
will
just-
find out when we are aboard.
That just seems very overplayed. It's fine. I'm not upset about it. It's their money. I'm not going to tell them how to spend it. But that's ridiculous, honestly.
Are we all accepting of this mission, or is
I
she
have one,
kind
I have
of?
one final
Yes,
question.
Tremors, by all means.
So this is like a boat just full of loaded people, right?
Correct.
Is it against operations or whatever protocol for stealing?
She gives you a long look and leans forward on her table, and almost desperation in her tone. Steal anything you want.
Anything?
Anything. Within reason, Tremors.
Let's steal the
Not
boat.
anything.
Money, yes. Demonic forces that might destroy the entire world, no.
Demonic forces. You say?
Yeah. Can we circle back to that?
Yes.
We don't know what to expect aboard this cruise ship, but you know the sort of work we do. You understand what might be aboard. We can't take any chances.
Okay, I mean, I'm in free cruise, honestly. I vote yes.
Cruise and demonic forces. I am in.
I was in when you called me.
I assumed.
I
does
appreciate this
any-
vacation.
Yes, enjoy yourselves tremendously. Tremors, are you still...
On the fence? Absolutely not.
All right. Then here we are. Your transport is waiting for you out front. And you guys will take a speedboat over to the coast of Florida, where you guys have some time to kind of plan how you want to get aboard this cruise ship that will be arriving. By the time you get to the docks, it'll probably be arriving in a few hours.
Okay.
Okay, so are we being smuggled? Are we being ourselves and being people who have been invited? Or are we going to try to be on the crew? Do we want to try to be crew people? Or do we want to just sneak on the boat? I've always wanted to do that SEAL Team 6 thing where you go under the water and like crawl on top of a boat.
That is very cool, I'm not going to lie. Okay, so options. Okay, so sort of looking around the group, looking at everyone and how you are, looking right now. So we could do like a Copenhagen again. You guys remember that? That was fun, right? We could do that. We could do a Vienna, right? We could also do like a, I don't know, maybe like I can't think of another country. A New York, that's fine. We could do that.
New York, the country.
The country of New York. It's very rare. It's fine.
I mean, I've got friends who are in New York City and they kind of think it's their own country. I can
right,
totally-
exactly. You know what I mean. But
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I got an aunt out there. It's great.
So we could, the thing is, I like the idea of smuggling on and pretending to be crew, but also, one, I don't want to do any work, and two, we don't know what kind of crew is on this boat, because it may very well be like it is automated, or there are like, I don't know, invisible demonic forces that are doing all the work. So, we know that there's going to be guests on the boat. That's kind of where my head is at, is we know there are guests on the boat, so we know that that is a thing. But past that, I've got nothing except for put everyone in trunks, but that's just sort of my instinct as a person, so
Do we
I like your instincts.
thank you.
Do we have any dossiers on
Oh, I love a dossier.
people that could be invited on this cruise ship?
I would say they gave you some paperwork, sure, that would say like, hey, here's some of the noted names that might not arrive.
Okay. Dope.
The things that we were given that are supposed to help those of us who have non-obvious human parts, what do they actually do?
So when you activate them, it's basically like a little small flat box with like a few buttons on it, and then you activate, it scans your body, and like it kind of glitches out a little and says, "Welcome, Cyclops agent," and then will morph it out to make you look as natural as possible.
do we get to choose what we look like?
Sure, absolutely.
So I'm gonna hold up my box to everybody and say, well, when we find someone to impersonate, we use the boxes,
Oh, yeah.
right?
To impersonate this
Could-
other.
Yeah.
This is maybe a very silly idea, and I just want to say, for the record, before I present the idea, I also realize how far down the rabbit hole this could go. But like, what does the cruise need? Entertainment. Maybe we could disguise ourselves as like the band, you know? Like, we could like dress up like the Beatles or something, and like Beatles impersonators. Who doesn't love that on the cruise? You know? Like, and then, we got the whole crew, and then we just go on and we say, hello, we're here, we are the band. And then they go, oh, there's the dressing rooms, and then it's bing, bang, boom. We might have to also perform, but we can get to that when we get to that.
Tips on the guitar.
I played a mean clarinet in high school.
I don't think we actually have to play the instruments, but I mean, like, but I mean, that could be a thing too. We could be like a Beatles band, but we play on like clarinets. That's fun.
Did you all play clarinet in high school?
No, I didn't. I played the trombone. This is going to be a terrible band.
Oh, trombone is so cool.
Little Brass Unite.
I played the
am all
glockenspiel for 2
this
glorious
band.
years.
I like this band idea. I also think that we could just infiltrate that with the devices that they let us know. So, I vote for the band.
Well,
I can't play an instrument though, so maybe, I sort of don't a lot of rich people like have little dogs and stuff. Maybe I can just fit in somebody's handbag or something.
Oh, yeah, especially here in Florida. People do that all the time.
Yeah.
Is that comfy?
No, but it's okay.
How small would you say Tremors is?
Specifically, they are 3'11".
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, if we're
So
gonna
if I
do,
crouch in there, I think I could fit.
if we're gonna do in a handbag, then we need someone who can carry you in the handbag. With all those dossiers that we got, did anyone look over them? Is there somebody that we can kill and take over?
Nope.
These are people that will most likely not be on the ship, so we would just be impersonating them.
Oh, okay. It's not as fun, but that works.
I never read the dossiers, to be honest. I just go in and I just bing bang boom and I become a ghost and whatever.
Elsa never gives me the dossiers. I don't know why.
Right?
Yeah.
So let me get out again. Lucia, you just look like a tiny dog, right? So it's half dog, half person.
No, it's sort of like a Chihuahua Minotaur. So like,
okay.
it's sort of like dog head and like vaguely human shaped body, but then like the arms are really small and like clawed, but like there's no fur on the rest of my body until like the legs. So
Okay.
kind of like also a satyr, but the head is a Chihuahua.
You're so cool.
I'm also like wearing a muzzle, and it's like every couple of minutes, it's like a couple of worms are spilling out, and I just sort of like stuff them back into my mouth.
Disturbing.
Yeah, that's upsetting.
Oh, you dropped a few. Should I grab those, or you got those? I probably shouldn't touch those. That's not. Yeah, but you dropped a few.
It's okay. I mean, if they get split in half inside, then they just grow another end. So
Oh, that's.
I don't ever really run out.
That's amazing.
I can
I'm-
actually lose like 5 pounds if somebody's gonna carry me if I can relieve myself really quickly.
I wish I had that ability. I would fit into so many more dresses if I could just be like 5 less pounds.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
It'd be amazing.
So are you guys going in as the band?
I would say I'm fine with us either going in as people invited that did not show up, or some of us are in the luggage, or I guess the entertainment would work as well. It would be harder to disguise some of us. As I look towards Tremors.
Yourself.
and me.
I don't know. I don't want to be the person who pushes for one idea or the other because I want everyone to be safe, and honestly, I am the one who has the least to worry about. So I want everyone to be comfortable because there could be a long time before we actually can like activate and start snooping around, you know? So I don't want Singularity to be like stuck in a trunk for a long time, or, you know, Tremors, you to be in my handbag for like 3 days. That would be uncomfortable.
Well, can we do both? Is there somebody who is not going to make it who is famous because they're like an entertainer person?
Oh yeah.
There is a lesser known band that we'll say that they are not going to be able to make it. But they play instruments you've never heard of.
And you said these suits can look however we want?
Absolutely.
Cool. Do we have images of these bandmates?
Yeah, absolutely.
Boom. I can look like one.
How many people
right.
are in the band?
Yeah.
Do we need like a band
Conveniently-
manager sort of situation?
There are 4 of them.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so you 4 could be the band, and then I could be like, you know, clipboard person walks behind you, very scary, intimidating. Could do that.
Yes.
I don't want to perform on stage. I'm just trying to make sure that that doesn't happen. What
is the name of this entertainment band?
Let's you know what? let's look up a quick generator.
I love it.
You guys are
Oh, I'm so excited for this.
some of these.
As the laptop we have from the 1960s laptop that's this massive brick is downloading information from the dossier.
It's called the Cult Or. As in like the Cult Or.
Or something else, but there's no something else.
Yeah, but there's no something else. It's just called the Cult Or.
And every album released fills in the rest of that sentence.
Yes.
That's actually really cool.
I love it.
No
Your
wonder
latest
these
album-
people are famous.
Your latest album is called The Cult or The Road to High Fidelity.
So yes.
So you guys get dressed up in your new looks.
What kind of band is this? Like, is this?
They are a brass and woodwind style band.
Oh, this is so convenient. How great.
Are we a
and-
German Oompa band? What is this?
You are based out of Sweden.
Yeah.
Y'all are very like esoteric and strange, which is the reason that you were likely brought aboard this ship. And sure enough, you guys see a few hours later the ship pulling into dock. It is enormous, and it's strange in that it doesn't. I mean, like, it's not colored in any very specific way. It's very much like a standard looking one, but what makes it weird is there are would appear to be like burn marks on the sides, or like almost like, you know, it's the 60s, so you guys wouldn't know about this, but almost like it's been laser engraved along the sides. And as it's pulling up, you notice there are a lot of people here, tons of people. And the gangplank kind of comes down. People are coming up. You know, they're very, very high class individuals. They are all wearing like pastel colored like suits and such like that. And they're handing off their tickets one at a time. The first thing that strikes all of you is the individual taking tickets looks human, but there's something just instantly uncanny valley off about the way they look. Like, they just don't look entirely correct. And as you guys are approaching up the walkway to get to the ship, he kind of leans forward. He's this big, bald guy, and his face is just a little too wide for it to match the rest of his body. And he holds out a hand and says, "Tickets, please."
I shake his hand. Hi, it's so nice to meet you. Wow, you're big.
You feeling his hand? Doesn't feel fleshy. Feels something weird, bony like. It's not like there is clearly something.
Tremors, calm down.
Anna's smile gets even bigger. Like she is so into this now.
Hello. I'm so sorry to bother you. I do not think this is the right entrance. We are here. We're looking for the crew entrance for the musicians.
This is fine. You are
The cult, or... And then
Or what?
Magpie just pauses.
We get that all the time.
The entertainment. Yes, we have been expecting you. And then he turns, and this other individual approaches you, who, he's kind of a well-dressed guy in a very dark black suit with a black undershirt and a white tie. And he steps forward and kind of waves this guy off very quickly. And he's like, yes, we've been waiting for you. My name is Explorer. I'll be happy to show you to your quarters. Come this way. You must be the cult, or... Yes, we know you've been trying to get aboard the ship for some years now. We're happy to have you.
Cool. Thank you so much. Great.
We're going to put your things away, and then we're going to have a meeting on board the deck with Mr. Vivori. He's very excited to meet everybody. I'm certain that once we get done with the meeting, we'll be on our way very, very shortly. We do not want to dally. There is much to do.
That is fine. If it is all the same to you, we will be responsible for our own belongings. You understand the instrument's very delicate. We do not want anything to get broken. It could,
Yes, I
impact the
understand
show.
I understand how many trips you've taken to procure those particular instruments. We ourselves were eyeing them for some time, and then, well, you beat us to the punch. But we're so glad you're here now.
Oh, that's...
Well, maybe we can talk later. Maybe after the performance, if you've got, money that you'd like to spare. I'm always looking for a new instrument, and if you're thinking about maybe buying mine, always in the market.
Well, money is no object for the Thin Walls crews, of course. We'd be happy to discuss that in the future. Oh, I'm afraid before you can go, Mr. Vivori is apparently already reaching the deck. And you guys are standing on board this deck where it's like, think like your typical modern day cruise ship. There is like a large pool, there's like a standing area, there is like bars in multiple places, there's ping pong tables. It is very like 60s style flush, but with like a modern day sort of like design philosophy. And Mr. Vivori, when he steps out, he is wearing...
Before we get there,
Yes.
while we were waiting in line, if possible, I would like to graviturgist a ticket to me.
Okay.
Just so I can look it over. I don't need to keep it. I'm not using it as my invitation on. I just want to see what these tickets entailed.
Sure. Go ahead and roll me 2d6, and we'll use... I feel like creative is the correct call here.
Okay.
First roll of the game.
5.
5 is a fail.
Ooh.
So, just so you know, in this game, failing doesn't just mean it doesn't happen. Failing usually means something happens in regards to that failure that makes things a little more interesting. Just so you know, there's 4 different ways things can go. There is failure, partial success, and then I think it's something like what do they specifically call it? It's something like fantastic success or something. Let me check.
Critical success, I think.
Critical success sounds about right.
Awesome success.
Awesome success.
Epic success.
I printed out the rules on this piece of paper because I'm cool.
Fistful
Oh, yeah,
of
there you go.
success.
It is a critical success. Thank you so much. So just so you know, a 6 or below, your roll is a failure. You don't do what you wanted to do, and things go wrong somehow. 7 to 9, your roll is a partial success. You do what you wanted to, but with a cost, compromise, or complication. 10 or above, your roll is a success. You do exactly what you wanted to do without any additional headaches. Double 6s, your roll is a critical success. You do exactly what you wanted to do with a spectacular added bonus. So you lift your hand and try to like yank one over to yourself real quick. And what happens is the guy collecting the tickets themselves, he kind of like lurches and hits the deck, but doesn't respond like he's in pain or anything. He just kind of stiffly onto his back. And his arms bend sort of unnaturally and push himself back up to a sitting position, almost if you've ever watched WWE, almost like The Undertaker or Kane. He just kind of like straight sitting. And then like without any sort of like bending of his legs, he just kind of comes straight back to standing and starts looking around for what just happened. And he kind of eyes you for a second, Singularity, before Mr. Vivori walks onto the main area. Mr. Vivori is a very handsome gentleman. He has a kind of black blue vest across a white button-up. He's wearing black slacks and really, really nice shoes. His hair is slicked back, and his eyes are a wild collection of blue and silver. He does not look entirely natural when looking into the eyes, but he has an extremely friendly tone. As everybody kind of gathers on board the deck, they are all hushedly whispering to each other in excitement. They're into this. They are so excited to be here. You can just feel the energy in the area as Mr. Vivori steps out and lifts both of his hands. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Thin Walls Cruise. I'm Mr. Vivori, and I can only say how excited I've been to meet all of you. I know how difficult it's been, and for many of you, it's been a long, long time coming. Everybody wants to be a part of the Thin Walls Cruise, but there's only so many seats available. Well, I'm here to tell you that we are happy as can be to have you here. The walls between what is and what isn't are so much thinner than anyone perceives. Worlds of luxury behind veils as thin as silk. You will be whisked away through the walls that are unseen for a trip unlike any other. And it is this point you guys feel the anchor lift and the ship begin to go. It's very quick. You guys were on. The thing comes up. They are instantly going. They're clearly, like, for any of you who've done any missions near docks or stuff, you know there's a lot of, like, communication that's supposed to happen between both sides. None of that is happening. They are just going. We offer you not only the chance to have a new life, but a new home. A garden of opportunities sprouting every trip we make. Our custom-tailored cruise experience is suited to every group of passengers we've had. A wild romp through that which is, that which could be, and that which isn't. Please, head to your rooms, put up your belongings, and prepare yourselves for a cruise only for the finest of tastes. I, of course, am Mr. Vivori, and welcome you to the next generation of vacationing. Please, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to our guide for the trip, Explorer01. He will be available to you as the highest quality assistance you can ask for. And he kind of, once again, as soon as you start, everybody is clapping. There is shouts and hollers. People are absolutely ecstatic about this. And he kind of grins to everybody, and his eyes settle on all of you. And he comes walking over very quickly and kind of goes, let me guess. You're the entertainment.
Yes, we are. It's very nice to be here. Thank you so much for having us.
I cannot tell you how thrilled I am to have you here. I know that we've gone in the same circles for some time, but meeting you finally, I have to say, I'm a little surprised. I expected, something different. But all the same, I suppose
What were you expecting?
Well, accents, first of all.
Well, we're in Florida. That would be
That's
weird.
fair. Yeah, that's true. You wouldn't want to give anything away.
No.
Well,
The rest of them have assimilated. It is different for me. I am still from Sweden.
and he kind of nods. He does not seem to gather at all how strange that is. He just grins and nods. Fantastic. Well, as you could probably guess, things are about to get a little strange and different. So
Yes.
just make yourselves at home. once we're through the other side, I'm sure that you'll be able to let loose a little bit.
Excellent.
Oh, a quick question about that. Actually, and I apologize. This was not very clear when we sent over, our contract and our writer. But
Yes.
you'll pardon this. Maybe is a very silly question, but where exactly are we going?
Well, our first trip is going to be out west.
Okay.
After that, we'll likely head to a colony of sorts, and then after that, well, it depends on what we feel is correct.
Oh, that makes sense. And is there like a place that we could, tune our instruments?
Yes, of course. He has very inhuman sort of like. There's something very off about this guy.
Okay. Okay.
Tune, yes, of course. I will take you to your rooms. Well, actually, I'll have Explorer do it. There's some calibrations I need to make with the captain.
Okay. Cool.
Thank you for coming over and inviting and introducing yourself personally. It's so nice to meet you, and hopefully we'll get a chance to play for you in person.
He nods and smiles and kind of, and his eyes turn over to Spectro.
Hi.
Have we met before?
Have we?
No, I don't think so. There's something about you that's awfully familiar.
Really? What is this?
I don't know. I'm sure it'll come to me.
Mr. Vavori, are you a fan?
Of course I'm a fan. That's why you're here.
And Fana is just going to fangirl out like we've met a fan, and that's what's going on. Well, of course, that's so lovely. I'm so honored. It's so nice. It's so nice that you recognize us just on sight. That's amazing.
Yes, it is one of those things where I've heard you so many times, but I've never seen any of you, and seeing you in person is always exciting. Yes. Please, I must get to my post, but by all means, we should be along on our way in no time. You'll know when we get there.
Thank you for being a fan.
And he will turn. And he will turn. And he will move away from all of you. He pauses only once to look back at his Spectro, and then continues going forward.
And I just wave that. Okay, this is my first time, and on a cruise, and it's just moving a lot, and I don't feel so good.
Did anyone bring any ginger?
I will actually stabilize his internal gravity so that he does not have to deal with seasickness.
Yeah, absolutely. No roll necessary. You do feel a lot better. Things are kind of chilled out.
I love it.
Okay, I'm just going to ask this to the group. No shade. I want to be very clear. I'm not going to judge you on your answers, but is anybody else, real creeped out right now? Because I'm very creeped out right now. Something weird is going on. I mean, I know, weird, but, weird for us, even.
Yes, I feel something strange coming from this person, and I kind of get this familiarity with him.
Ooh.
Also, thank you so much, Singularity, for this. I feel better.
The guy who was taking the tickets?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's like a skeleton or something. I don't know. When I touched his hand, it was super cool. Kind of creepy, but in that cool way.
Was it really cold?
I believe.
No, it was bony and meaty, but not in the human way.
Hopefully, all of this is out of play. Is being conversed when we are private.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah. You guys are not. Yeah.
Just
this is
walking around the boat
on your way to.
This is real strange.
Yeah. You guys go. You are in your room basically. I assume I'm just gonna go ahead and say that you guys, being the agents that you are, you check for if there's any bugs or anything. There's nothing in there. You guys are in a safe place to discuss. The rooms are slightly larger than you would expect. When I say, let me make it clear. These are really big rooms.
Pocket dimension.
Maybe. I mean, they look like they would fit in the ship. It just looks like, whereas a normal cruise ship fits lots and lots of people and kind of crams them in like sardines, these rooms are very large and spacious with, like, you know, you guys have like a few couches in your room with like, and there's like food there, but it looks old. It does not look super edible. Maybe Tremors could eat it.
Okay.
But for like, it's like fruit that's like clearly gone bad.
Oh.
And there is a smell.
Oh, good.
Well, I'm just saying there is a smell.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
As we're walking towards the room, can I sort of just like really subtly just like see who else is boarding? Like, does everybody else seem strange, or are they just like human
Everyone
people?
who's boarding seems totally normal, but you, we'll say with your kind of like dog half, can sense the uneasiness in some of the people around the crew. Every crew member you come across gives you a slight sense of unnaturality. There is something amiss, and you definitely get off of the people who are here that they're detecting it too, but their sense of excitement is kind of pulling past it. Like, you know, these people are weird, but, you know, this is the cruise. This is the one.
And Thana is doing that as well, but you've gone on enough missions with her to know that when you get creeped out by something, that just makes her excited.
Okay.
When we get to the room, I'll, I believe this cruise ship goes through reality veils.
What?
Or dimensions.
Oh, okay, so it's not the walls, but it's the
Oh,
walls.
yeah, the walls are like a metaphor. Okay, I see.
Yeah. That makes way more sense because, like, I was looking at this wall and it looked very, very sturdy.
Yeah. Okay, I have an idea, and maybe it is a bad one. But what if we go find the bar? That's
I
more
love this
for
idea
me.
already. Let's go.
Yeah, that's more for me than anything else. But I think maybe we go talk amongst the peoples and, see what the people on the cruise are expecting from this. Like, I just want to know why someone would pay $500,000 to go do, like, you know what I mean? This is just, I just want to get my head around this.
So if they ask, what are we playing? What should we answer? I actually have one of my instruments, and I take out a fossil that looks like a triceratops, and I just start blowing on it, and it kind of makes that ocarina sound.
Absolutely.
I was hoping for like an Aztec death whistle.
Oh my god.
In the dossier that we had on the cult ore, did it list anything about the instruments, even if they were like
The instruments,
clarinet?
the instruments were said to be very strange and unique, and likely built by the band themselves.
Okay.
Oh my god, are we a noise band?
From the dossier,
Are we just like
it
a noise
says,
band? Is that what we play? Oh, that's so embarrassing. Oh no, we're a noise band.
An esoteric ritual trance, brass and woodlands.
Okay. So, okay, that's fine. All right, just make something up, I think. That's fine. It's a noise band. There's no rules. It's fine.
It's like jazz.
So eclectic.
So are you guys going to head out to the bar?
Yes.
Okay. As all of you kind of gather up, you've got this uneasy feeling. You have this, you have this this front you are putting up that is becoming more and more difficult to understand how to put up in the first damn place. You kind of meander out into the bar area that you saw at the first place you got on like the top deck. You notice that there's lots of signs detailing other areas you guys can go. You see that there is a dining hall. You guys are currently heading towards the playing area where you have like, the pools, the ping pong tables, the bar and stuff like that. There is an engine room that seems to be off limits. There is the swimming pool, which is a part of the playing area. There appears to be a gambling area down below decks. And then there's the entertainment area, which is further down, which you would imagine at some point they're going to expect you to be at. But for now, as you guys head to the bar, you see that there are, you're hobnobbing with some of the richest people across the world. These are not just Americans. There are people from every walk of life in almost lots of different countries. These people are all very excited. The bartender is kind of like really, really direct. So when you come up to get a drink, it's like, what do you want? What do you want?
Martini.
Pina colada.
And he reaches back without mixing anything and just puts a martini in front of you. He puts a pina colada in front of you. Each of your drinks, he never mixes. He just reaches under the bar and pops it out in front of you instantly. And then goes back to staring stiffly at the wall.
Magpie will watch this happen, and she'll say, I would like a Lagavulin 30, 2 fingers neat.
He looks over to you, and will reach under the bar. What did you say specifically?
A Lagavulin, 30 years, 2 fingers neat.
Boom. Right in front of you.
No way.
hesitation.
There's no way. Do you not? Oh my god. Do you have this?
He puts down a second one. Are you done?
Yeah, thank you so much. And then Magpie will like put the one into the other and just be like, this is the greatest day of my life. Okay.
I come over
I
to
want
you.
to test it.
He looks over to you, Tremors, as you step up.
I would like a glass of milk with a lime, please.
He pops it up instantly.
On the ocean, there's milk.
There's
Was
whatever
that
you
the-
want.
That should be the name of our next song. On the
And-
ocean, there's milk.
And as he does this, and y'all are all kind of getting together, one of the individuals, he's dressed in like a pastel suit. Like I said before, you saw him when you were first coming in. It's like a kind of a pink suit. He looks definitely American. He looks extremely wealthy, and he's kind of got his hair like really well done and like all greased up. And he comes forward and he's like looking between all of you, and he's like, "Oh, I don't recall seeing your names on the list. Are you part of the entertainment? Are you?"
You
Yes.
don't know us?
Of course I do. Of course I do. Sorry, I just didn't recognize you immediately. And he does not name your band because he has no idea who you guys are. You can just read it on him.
I
He's like-
hold out a hand immediately to Shakez and said, "Oh no, that's okay. I mean, there's so much exciting going on. I'm Astrid. We are the Cult Ore."
The Cult Ore. Yes, I've heard of you, he lies as he shakes your hand. And
Does he feel normal?
Totally normal.
Okay, cool.
And he will kind of look around and be like, "Whew, I'm excited. I don't know about you guys. I actually came here alone, which they told us not to do, but I talked to some people. I pulled some strings, so."
I'm gonna lean in real close, giant smile on my face, and say, "You really shouldn't have come alone. That's dangerous."
Why is that?
Well, you hear those dogs?
I
That's why.
And almost as if on cue with you saying that, you guys see what looks like a storm brewing around the ship. You don't even recall the storm arriving. You just suddenly are in like kind of a stormy area. It's becoming foggier with like thick black clouds that are filling the sky. And he kind of nervously looks around and he's like, I heard that this was a bit of an esoteric cruise, but I didn't know if the rumors were true. And you see bolts of green lightning streak down around the ship, but there's no sound. It's just, and he kind of looks around. He's like, "Oh, I guess it's actually happening, huh?"
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Let's-
And you see it streak further and further and further, and they're becoming more and more consistent.
Oh.
Sometimes they hit the side of the ship and streak long, burning rows along the side of the ship. But go ahead. What were you saying? I know somebody was saying something.
Oh no, I was just going to ask. So out of curiosity, like, as they like watch the storm. So what are you hoping to get out of this experience?
Me? Between you and me, my uncle went on the last cruise. The last letter I got from him was that he was staying where they went, that it was the perfect home for him. I'm sort of hoping that I can find the same for myself. And there is a bright flash of green light. And you guys are now in the same boat, on the same place, but you are floating in midair across what looks like an enormous sand desert. As it is just streaking at incredible speed as if it is still sailing, but it is now floating above the landscape. And there is a bright red sun and a bright yellow sun on either side of you in the sky.
I'll look back at our new friend, and say, "Is this the one? Is this the one, or is it's a later trip?"
No. The one he said he went to was some sort of endless dance. I don't know exactly. He wasn't entirely clear on where it was he went. He just said that it was a dance that he couldn't see himself leaving.
Okay.
We just paid $500,000 to get to a place that has 2 suns. I don't get it.
Well, this is just the first place. Remember, Mr. Vivori said that there was we're going out west, and then we're going to a colony, and then we'll go other places. And I'll look back at our new friend and say, "What was your name again?"
Oh, my name is Trevor. Trevor Gills.
Yeah. So maybe the dance is one of those other places that we're going to go to, or maybe there's a dance in the desert. That'd be super cool, right?
Between you and me, I have the inside scoop. Apparently, every cruise is a little different based on who went on there. So maybe we end up in the dance, or maybe we end up somewhere even better.
How do they decide? Do you know?
I think that's part of the mystery of Vivori, right? He's this big name. Only the most connected people are able to get a hold of him. Between you and me, and he kind of looks back and forth, and he leans forward, and he's like, I know some guys at Cyclops.
What, you do?
What is that?
It's like a military industrial complex. No, they're not a band. They're I don't even know how to describe them. They have connections everywhere. I spent a lot of money. Basically, they were buying weapons from me. And long story short, I got in good with a few of them, and they connected me with this. And they told me they were going to pay for my ticket and everything.
Okay.
I'm going to so the box that I've been using for the disguise doesn't actually change anything about me, except it makes me look like I actually have a left arm and a hand.
Yep.
Can I slyly adjust it so that it stops, so that he can see my gun arm size and say, that may be where I got mine.
I knew you guys were weird, but that is weird, and I'm all about it.
Right?
That's groovy as hell.
Right? Wait until I start playing with it.
Oh, I'm excited. Singularity.
too.
Somebody spent $50. I want you to go ahead and gain another
Heavyweight.
trait. Perfect.
That's what I've been doing. Thank you, donations.
When you get warped in, you feel your body shift, and your control over gravity becomes even stronger. For one of you, we'll say Magpie. You have a gun?
I do not.
Okay. Espectro, do you have a weapon?
I do not.
Okay. Trimmers, what about you?
I have worms.
Okay.
Mine's the only one with a... Yeah. I have my gun scythe arm, yes.
Perfect.
I have two weapons.
You are going to have a weapon morph.
Oh,
Let me go ahead and get that taken care of.
Can I at least pick that it's the gun and not the scythe?
Yeah, absolutely, of course.
Okay.
And one of you has a +3 bonus. I will give that to Magpie.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for donating.
Thank you so much for donating, guys. Yep, okay, so you are going to have... Your gun is now cursed.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
It cannot be removed once equipped. But you can spend 1d6 of your max HP to guarantee a successful attack at any time.
Oh.
Okay, so my gun can't be removed anyway because it's my arm. Spend 1d6 of my max HP.
Yep.
Okay.
And that will guarantee that your next attack will hit. No matter what you're aiming at, no matter how ridiculous the shot, you will always land that shot.
Oh, I
Excellent.
love this.
That is awesome.
And you guys see that as the ship is going, you can hear Mr. Vivori's voice over the speakers. Our first trip is out west. I'm very excited for you guys to see what we have planned in store. After all, not only are we the most interesting of cruises available here at Thin Walls, but also we are the most destructive. Watch as you feel absolutely no moral pangs at the destruction we wreak across the multiverse. I'm so excited for you to see our first stop. And as the ship comes cresting over a hill, you see what looks to be like several of the portholes open on the sides, and green streaks of energy begin to rip up the sand around you, making glass as it continues along the sand floor, and you eventually come across what looks like an old western town. But when you look over the sides at like all of this, and by the way, this guy with you is giddy about it. Like, Trevor is like, oh, here we go! And these buildings just get wrenched to pieces. Like, half of the city is just destroyed as you guys sail over it. And you notice that there are several beings that are now chasing after the ship at extreme speed. In almost a confused sort of like, oh my god, I gotta stop that situation. One of them is a being that is on all fours. It's kind of hunched down with tardigrade legs that instead of ending in feet, it ends in very sharp points, but has hands on the front. He has like a kind of the sleeves of what you would imagine a Western coat, where they have like the dangling bits on the ends.
Fringe.
Yeah, and they have along their back are countless tendrils that on each end in a 6-shooter. Not being held, they end in 6-shooters.
I
as
found
well,
my people.
As well, you find another one that's running on 2 legs, who seems to have wagon wheels that along the edges of each of the wagon wheels are very large rifles that are pointed out, and they have a metallic mask along with a vest and what looks to be wrapped in red cloth. They are now chasing after your ship at extreme lengths, and Mr. Vivori goes, ho, this looks like we have some unhappy visitors.
During this whole interaction, especially when the Vivori says, wreaking destruction across the different planes, the gravity around you shifts, and it's like your body weight increases by like 1.5. Just the weight of the room is palpable. And reflexively, not really on purpose, I'm gonna accidentally kill Trevor.
Oh!
Okay.
Trevor, no!
I'm so upset and happy at the same time.
And it's really the giddiness that he has that just you feel all of that weight singulate into a point, and I now have shotgun because it's a heavyweight, so I have a 1d6 plus 1 as my gravity well.
All right. Go ahead and roll that. You don't have to roll the attack. Trevor has no idea you're about to attack him, so go ahead and roll that 1d6 plus 1.
That is a 5 total.
He is super dead. As the weight fills the area around you, and Singularity just has this reaction to what he's seeing. You see Trevor go, oh, look at those stupid fucks down there! And he just turns into a flesh ball and just lands.
I look over at Singularity and go, Singy, you couldn't have given me like 5 more seconds? And I want to then look for my friend that's going to show up.
You, sitting at the bar, you see a heavily cloaked figure who's got his head lowered. And you see that on his side is an enormous scythe. None of the rest of you see this. I want to make this clear. For Thana, time slows down. And he kind of like looks up and looks over to you. And you see a decently handsome guy with wearing a big pair of sunglasses. And he looks very normal underneath the cloak. He looks extremely normal. He's like, wow, that didn't take long at all, did it?
No, not really. I mean, I'm actually kind of happy that you could make it here. I wasn't sure once we did the whole going through the veil thing if you were going to be able to make it here.
The job sort of extends to parallel dimensions, other universes. It's a whole thing.
That's really good to know. I didn't know. Also, hey, do you want a drink? Because apparently this guy can make any drink ever of all time.
Oh yeah, I've already got a Kool-Aid.
Oh, okay.
I'm golden.
All right.
So what brings you out here?
Well, probably a lot more of that. And I point at the flesh ball.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we don't exactly know what's going on this boat, but we're going to find out. Apparently, more of that.
Well, I know this Vivori guy, and you guys might be a little out of your depth at this point.
Yeah, that's kind of normal though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't say you're wrong there after the whole Bermuda Triangle thing.
Yeah, I do.
That was a busy day for me. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Let me just go ahead and say because I like you.
Oh, I like you too. Like,
Well,
I'm
thank
glad
you.
I was able to
appreciate
see
that.
you. Yeah.
I would watch out for that Explorer 01 guy because he's kind of outside my purview.
I didn't know there was anyone who was outside your purview. That's awesome. Weird.
Well, you'll find out what I'm talking about. And time kind of picks back up, and he's no longer there. But you see an empty glass that has the remains of Kool-Aid at the bottom.
Awesome. I turn to everybody and I say, "Oh, I just had a flash of inspiration," which all of you know is my code phrase for that guy that just died. I got to talk to my friend.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And as you guys are kind of having this discussion, and several people kind of jump back at what Singularity has done, that individual with the gun arms immediately, like the gun tendrils, jumps onto the ship's deck. And you hear Mr. Vivori's voice, but it sounds slightly different. Oh, looks like things are getting very interesting on the front of the ship. Let's see how things turn out. And he's going to start shooting. You see several passengers just instantly get killed.
What?
Before I engage, or anybody engages, do we see any crew members attempting to be guards or something, or are they just letting this happen?
They're just kind of letting it happen. One of them gets shot and falls dead.
Okay.
When he falls dead, he kind of gets hit. It's the guy who took the tickets. He kind of falls, and you see the image around him dissipate. And he looks sort of like the guy he was if you were to take that guy and say, I don't know, shunt him through countless realities until he's a husk of his former self, and kind of like an amalgamation of like machine parts and like skeletal structure and like slight bits of burnt flesh. He does not appear normal. Okay. And when he falls, people begin to get nervous and scream, but some of them are laughing and hiding from the gunshots as if they expected this sort of thing.
I look over at Tremors and I say, see, not a vampire.
What is going on?
Should we do something? I mean,
Yes,
like, I don't know what the vibe is. Are
we should destroy this ship.
You see, okay, I want Magpie to make a reflexive roll real quick.
Okay. Here I go. When it says question, when it says +1, does that mean I get one extra or one extra dice?
You get one added to whatever you roll.
Okay, cool. That's 12.
Okay. As you're like, I'm not sure what we should do, you see almost the Mummy style bullet holes rip up the wall on their way to you, and then you expertly get out of the... Yeah, exactly. However you want to get out of the way of the shots, that thing is definitely shooting at anything it can see, and it's speaking this alien language that none of you understand.
Okay, I would like to jump behind the bar and just inexplicably yell, O'Connell, at the same time.
You do, and you see the bar rip up. The bartender, you take a look under the bar, there is nothing under here.
What the hell? Okay.
And the bartender reaches down and you see a portal in reality open up, and he takes like basically a big plate and holds it in front of himself and gets shot like 2 or 3 times and falls dead next to you.
Can
The
I
bartender, no.
can I reach in the portal and think really hard about a gun of like a photon gun?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna do it.
You reach your hand in, you pull it out, you feel the top of your hand get singed and burned from where the portal almost closes on it. You pull the gun up, you point it there, and you go ahead and make me a roll or reflect. Well, I don't feel like a giant photon cannon is a reflexive. It might be a forceful. I don't feel like it's terribly precise as a weapon.
It's fine.
I
like
love that
Ethan?
whole statement.
Yes.
I love-
While you're doing that,
Okay.
just look at.
Oh, I know.
Okay,
Don't worry. Both of those things are happening next.
got it.
Oh.
Also, that was a 5, but it was like a cool 5.
Okay, so here's what happens. You pull out the gun and you're like start firing blasts. The ship is getting holes ripped in it that begin to immediately repair themselves, as if the amount of damage that is being sustained is totally normal.
Okay.
You see the bartender and the guy who collected tickets both beginning to pull themselves back up to standing, as if they can regenerate from minor amounts of damage. Your blasts go flying past this guy with all the tentacles and tendrils. You miss some shots as he is going to... You're going to take 1 damage as he fires and a bullet kind of streaks across your arm. You twist and your shot goes in the portal that is still closing. And as it does, that portal shifts and ripples. And you hear Mr. Vivori's voice. Okay, I'm not sure what people are doing out there on the hull of the ship, but oh no, what is happening? What's happening? And you see the portal wrench open, and we're going to have a reality shift. Everybody gains 2 traits. Thank you for your donations.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
As you basically reroute where the ship was heading into a new place that it's not supposed to head to.
I love it. And we get to choose the traits, or we're rolling for the traits?
You are choosing the traits.
Okay, well, I know what one of mine is immediately.
I'm taking teleport and rage.
Alrighty.
I'm thinking retreat, but I gotta pick the other one.
Okay.
I'm
Y'all are
thinking
so
lens.
fast. I gotta agonize over this for like a couple more minutes.
Well,
Hey,
I had thought about this ahead of time, so.
Samesies. May have a document of traits.
While this is happening, can I attack this thing?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Although, look, I want to make it clear. This thing looks tremendously more confused than anybody else. Its head starts whipping around. The gun's all sort of lower. It does not know what is happening anymore.
Is this okay? This is maybe a little silly, but like, do you think that maybe this guy is like part of the show?
Yep.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like at these like jungle cruise, you know, like the hippo jumps out. Do you think that this guy is like the hippo? Like he's part of it?
This is a creature.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm like, maybe he's like being paid. You know, like, oh, he comes on the ship, he is scary. Oh, and then he like jumps off and is all part of the thing.
It lifts both of its hands like this and is making alien noises at everybody. Like, it's so hard to gauge what it's trying to say, but there is a very real feel of what the fuck.
All right.
As my second trait, I'd like to take Mind Reader.
Okay, absolutely.
And it says I can read anyone's thoughts and general state of mind without rolling.
Okay, so without rolling,
and then
its
there's
general
other stuff.
state of mind is, what the hell? Somebody just came through my town, destroyed half of it. I don't know what the fuck this thing is. Now we're out here in a fucking green storm. I thought these was outlaws. What the hell is going on? That's what his mind reads, but it comes out
as just as confused as we are.
I love that You still have the accent even in your mind.
Yeah. But there is, like, the people that are not dead are all, like, mind blown excited about this. The reality you guys enter into as the storm subsides. Oh, I was so happy when we get this.
Okay.
You guys no longer are on a normal deck. You guys are in what looks to be the entirety of this place has been changed to a hospital. And Vivori's voice is like frustrated, and he says, "Explorer, do something about this. There is something extremely wrong. Somebody on this ship shouldn't be here." And you guys see what look to be people in scrubs with kind of cataracted eyes. They're wearing the hairnets. They have light blue gloves, light blue scrubs, and on their face masks are painted awful looking smiles that are very wide and unsettling to look at. Let me go ahead and...
These are people that are walking in that look, that's disturbing.
Yeah.
That look aggressive.
Yeah, they do not look friendly.
Okay.
And three of them immediately come for the creature with the guns, and they put their hands on him, and he kind of remembers that he's under attack and starts shooting at them. They don't appear stronger or more resilient than normal people.
And if I read their mind, what do I get off of them?
When you read their minds,
I'll just pick one of them at random.
when you read their minds, you get a very strong feeling. We must operate. Whatever it takes, cure the sickness, destroy them, tear them open. We must operate, cure the sickness.
Those are deadly.
Okay.
And they are filling this floor very quickly. And people now do not seem as cool with all of this and are beginning to move below decks.
I also would like to move below deck,
Yeah.
but I'm going to create a very quick way of getting there as I use heavyweight and basically collapse the floor.
Okay.
Because I can tear through most inanimate objects with ease. If it is tough or solid like concrete or metal, it'll be more difficult and complicated. You decide how.
Okay.
So when you said you wanted to destroy the ship, you found a way to immediately destroy the ship.
Punched it.
Yes.
So as you bend open the floor, I don't think there's a complication. It is just wood, but right now it looks like linoleum, like the floor of a hospital. It wrenches open, and you guys look below decks, and there are the hallways, but everywhere below decks you can hear an EKG beeping. Beep, beep, beep.
Oh, God.
And everybody, I assume, goes down. Tremors, as you're going down there, one of these two Western creatures grabs a hold of your shoulder and pulls you back. What are you gonna do?
I am going to. What are they grabbing me with? Is it like a bunch of tendrils or just like one?
Yeah, we'll say the tendril one is grabbing you. It doesn't. It's not immediately apparent why, but they're wrapping the tendrils around you and like heading your direction very quickly.
Okay, during the reality shift, I took the trait limbs.
Okay.
So I've sprouted those in this time.
I
And
love it.
I like technically if they're trying to grab me, limbs gives me the ability to grapple somebody.
Absolutely, you could grab them instead.
Could I how do I put this? Like, could I attempt to like grab enough so I can then like push them off of me? with my other
Absolutely,
limbs?
100%. That'd be a forceful roll.
Okay. That's a 7.
It's a 7. It succeeds with complication. So you shove them off of you, and with surprising strength given your size, it kind of stumbles back a few steps and hits the edge of the ship, and kind of reaches out a few times and then slumps off the side, and you turn to go back in the hole when you feel one of the tendrils whip around your ankle and start dragging you along the floor, where you are now like caught on the edge of the ship, where this thing is dangling by your ankle off the side of the ship. And as you look over the side, which you are just now seeing what it looks like on the opposite side, you see what looks to be there is a ceiling in this universe. It is an endless surgical room with millions of these surgeons walking around looking for things to take. No. And they are all at once lifting their heads and watching the two of you, as you see, even from up here, them start pulling out scalpels one at a time. As you're like holding on the side, you look at the other Western creature, and they're just gouging this thing to death with scalpels. And the moment it falls down, they start like operating on it. And this is bad news in general.
Yeah.
The rest of you are in this hole, and you look up and you notice Tremors didn't come with.
Tremors? Oh no. Tremors. I'm gonna use my empathy.
Absolutely.
To sense if I can sense tremors.
Absolutely. Let me take a look. Yes. Tremors, how are you feeling currently?
Terrified.
You feel a sense of terror that only a Chihuahua can manage. It is coming from the side of the ship. You get, like, in your mind, you have this almost like ghostly projection of like the area. You can see the hole. You can feel the fear of people around. You feel a sharp sense of anger coming from the captain's quarters, like from basically where people drive the ship. And then you feel a very real sense of terror coming from the edge of the ship, where you definitely can tell that's Tremors.
Okay, and can I use my teleport to actually teleport to
100%.
Okay.
You are just right there, and you see Tremors. You guys see this kind of ghostly wisp away as a... do you want to describe what your ghostly self looks like?
It's actually... you see like this giant creature with like bear-like that has claws and also an owl face for some reason. So it's...
And I love it.
I love you so much.
You see this creature whisk over you, but Tremors, you know that this is Espectro because you guys have worked together before. Espectro, as you come out through the top, you see the surgeons who have finished basically killing this first creature. They all kind of lift their heads. As everybody else has vacated the top, they all kind of turn towards you. As one of them goes, "Time to operate." As they begin to walk towards you, what do you do? You see the tendril is resting like wrapped around Tremor's ankle, and the creature with the guns is hanging off the side of the ship.
Okay. Do I sense, like, real quickly, can I sense the creature, the whatever it is, the alien-looking thing, like, the empathy?
Oh, panic! Pure panic! What the fuck is going on? Panic.
Okay.
Like, absolute terror.
And teleport doesn't allow me to teleport someone else with me, right?
Correct.
Shoot. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is just yell for singularity. And singularity! We're over here! And I'm just gonna try to use my... You know what? I'm just gonna use it. I'm just gonna take out like a tiny ham radio that I have, metal, and I turn it on, and it starts doing the static thing, like, and I just throw it in the ground, and it explodes, and I'm gonna use my stasis grenade, so everything freezes.
Alrighty,
That's
absolutely. Cool. Go ahead and make me a. Let me go ahead and make sure I've got this right. You know, I'm not even going to make you roll for it. You toss this. You're tossing it at the surgeons, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay. You guys hear this as time just dilates, stops. As all the surgeons are like, one of them was lifting a scalpel to stab you. And they're just staring at you in this frozen time.
Okay, I think that worked.
Is he the only one that's not affected, or is our team not affected?
Your team, the way he threw it, they're on the decks. You guys are below decks.
Okay.
So you guys are not affected. It's basically like he threw it. If you want to think about it in D&D terms, he fireballed just enough in front of himself it doesn't catch him.
Got it. I will anti-gravity myself to not fly, but like basically hop up from beneath the top deck. And
as you peer over, you see the alien creature like waving, like to help him too. Like
I do that, and I think that a weird creature is also having the same bad time as us. So I think they could be our friend. We're gonna help you, and I just try to reach for it and.
Okay, make me a forceful roll.
Forceful roll, I guess. Yeah.
If I see that Spectro is doing this, then I will also be like, okay, like, grab the tentacle that's hanging on to me and sort of like pull up there too.
Okay,
as well.
if the two of you are working together, I don't think a roll's necessary. With Singularity, the two of you guys hoist the alien.
I'm not focused on the alien.
Fair. Who are you focused on?
I'm going to use Rage, and whenever I do something risky, loud, bloody, or violent, I can roll 3d6 and take the best of the two.
Okay.
I'm going for the group of surgeons. And
Okay.
I'm basically going to just say, sit down. And I'm going to increase the gravity around them to a point where they'll just almost like being crushed by like 2 tons.
Absolutely. As you are doing this, down below decks, Magpie and Thanatopsis, the two of you are in what looks to be a horrible, like, hallway of a hospital, trying to kind of like gauge where you need to go and stuff. Something that is unfortunate to the two of you is that you notice there are lots of locked doors now, where like they have significant amounts of like hospital style locks. By the way, Katie, if you didn't know, Katie Saris, you got a new trait.
It's okay.
Okay, rock on.
Okay.
I'll also quickly look over at Magpie and say, so I didn't get a chance to say this earlier, but I got worried about that Explorer 1 guy, but I feel like at this point we've got other things to worry about.
Yeah, I think that maybe we should just try to find our way back to the rest of the group, because I do not like this, and I do not like I mean, you have arguably the coolest gun arm of the group, but like I think that we need to stick together. Should we try and find a way back upstairs?
Yeah.
By the way, Magpie, you definitely still have your plasma rifle.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, that did not go away.
Okay.
So
I mean,
make sure you.
I mean, I might have the coolest gun arm, but I think you now have kind of the coolest gun.
I'm picturing
was
this
it?
is like ridiculous, like Rick and Morty gun that's just like,
Yeah.
this is my gun now.
And as the two of you turn to try to get back to the group, you guys run into not a surgeon, but instead a being that looks as if they're made of metal,
Okay.
sort of bald and unsettling. You get a very creepy vibe off of them. Their body is completely reflective, and it's all black, save for silver trim along its jawline and along a line like this along its face across the top of its dome. And it will look to all of you.
Am I getting nasty vibes off of it? Am I getting must operate vibes off of it? From my
No, not must operate vibes off of it. It looks like a machine. And it says to you, I am Explorer 01. You are not supposed to be here.
No, I don't think any of us are supposed to be here. You look at this crazy place?
Coy, how quaint. Allow me to show you what I mean. And he begins to march towards you. And we're back on top of the ship. What did you roll in your gravity?
11.
11. Rock on.
And basically what it is it's the ultra shotgun. And there's many ways I'm going to flavor this, but this one, I want it to appear as a multitude of singularity points. And after they're weighed down, the other, so there's a big well in the center, and then this circle of other singularity points appear and basically rips them to shreds.
Absolutely. You see them beginning to rip, but the time stop has them still stuck in position. And they are going to be stuck there for the next 10 minutes. But they are definitely dead, you can tell.
But it's a slow, agonizing death.
He doesn't even realize he's dead yet.
Like, slow, agonizing death. Singularity says, perhaps that will be payment for what you've caused.
And at this point, Tremors, Spectro, the two of you hoist the alien back over, who lifts both of his hands in a "we're cool" kind of motion, despite all the many tendrils. Like, he's like, "We're good." Like, and he motions towards himself like this, and then motions towards you and gives you two of these. And when y'all give the thumbs up back, he's like, "Okay." And you guys just have a new ally.
Hell yes!
Amazing.
As the three of you, the four of you now, scramble down below decks where, before you guys get down there, Magpie and Thanatopsis, what are y'all doing with Explorer 01?
I was told you were super deadly, and I'm gonna whip out my scythe, and I'm gonna attack this guy.
Absolutely, go for it.
So what am I rolling? Because it's
if it depends. Do you think you are more of a precision, or do you think you're more of a strength? Is it?
Both of them suck, so I'm gonna say precision.
Okay, then you'll roll reflexive.
Okay. Oh, I thought that was gonna be tactical. Is
it'll
forceful the strength one?
Forceful will be anything that's large, clunky, and heavy. So like grenade launchers or like sledgehammers. Precision are things that are reflexive would be like precise weapons like sniper rifles, silenced pistols.
Okay. I think my scythe is reflexive even though I have a -1. So I'm rolling a d6 and then I'm
-1 from whatever you roll.
Yeah. How do I add war dice?
War dice are, it's a d6 you can add at any point. They represent luck, they represent grit. So it's at any point. If you roll and you're like, oh, that was a terrible roll, I want to add a d6 to it, you can. You can also add it to damage. So if you're like, oh, I rolled and I didn't do enough damage as far as I'm concerned, I should do 12, then go for it.
Okay. So I rolled a 5, so that's a 4.
Okay, that is a failure.
Yeah, I'm gonna use a war dice.
Go for it.
Because I want my first attack to be awesome.
Absolutely.
That's 2, so that's a 6?
6. Unfortunately, that is still a fail. However, go ahead and roll your damage.
Okay. So with my scythe, see that I roll max. Oh shoot! Hold on, wait.
Wait, you have a +3, don't you?
No, I don't have a plus to anything. I have negatives to a bunch of things. I am a glass tank. Okay. So I rolled 12.
Okay.
But my where's the thing? So one of your limbs is replaced with any weapon you own. This is part of prosthetic. You can roll damage. What is it? There's something about if I roll max damage, I get to do stuff, but I failed, so I don't know how that's gonna work.
Roll the damage again.
I'll look up prosthetic real quick.
I said it.
When you roll the maximum damage possible with an equipped weapon, you can roll damage again with your limb weapon for an extra powerful combo attack.
Go for it.
Okay. That's 4. That's 6 more, so that's 18 on my failure.
18 points of damage. So you swing your scythe down on Explorer 01, and with machine level, just extreme amounts of precision, he begins to move his arms, and he begins to talk to you while you are swinging, and the two of you are causing sparks to fly from the hospital lights, the fluorescent lights in the ceiling. They're spraying over the two of you as you two are kind of like locked in this battle back and forth, and he begins to say to you, "On my home planet, I was in charge of the entire theme park, a planet-sized park of which I had complete control. They said I went mad, killing everybody aboard. I don't believe that's the case. I simply showed them a fun time to the grave." As you continue,
that sounds fun to me, as long as they knew, what they were getting bored for.
Simple humans. And you swing the scythe down in this enormous attack, and it trails through the ceiling along the floor. Although you miss, you actually carve a hole in the entirety of the hallway, and you feel the ground give as you and Magpie begin to slide down into the next floor. You will take 2 damage.
Okay.
Magpie, you will take 1 damage. Man, I rolled a 1 and a 2. Y'all are lucky. That could have been 6.
Oof.
As the two of you slide and you basically crash through a glass cabinet full of surgical tools. It's at this point the other 4 of you, Spectro, Singularity, Tremors, and this creature, kind of jump down into the hallway behind Explorer 01, and he turns back and looks around and kind of stares at all of you. "I'm almost embarrassed that I was tricked by you. Fist, right? We knew you would eventually show up. I'll kill you as soon as I'm done killing your friends."
Do we
What do you
have
do?
time to react?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, can I make it, and this is up to referee's choice, but because I have more limbs now, can I say that I kept my glass before everything happened, so I still have it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great. I'm going to take my glass, move my muzzle just a little bit off of my mouth, and just barf a bunch of worms into it.
Yes.
And then I'm going to, using the other trait that I picked up, improvise, I am going to throw it
Oh my god.
directly
Yes.
at this robot person.
Absolutely.
And I can choose to instantly kill him
Oh!
once per session with an improvised weapon.
Get wrecked,
You
Ethan.
killed him with alcohol and worms. I love it so much.
I love it. It's brilliant. So I'll give you a choice. Do you want to kill him, or do you want the worms to take him over?
Ooh.
Oh my.
Take the fun one.
Yeah, let's take him over. I think that would be fun.
Okay, so here's what y'all see. She throws this milk on him, and he kind of truly is that error malfunction error. Welcome, park creator. How can I help you?
I love
Hey.
this so much.
So we're like cool.
The alien looks over to you and just kind of. And that's the only noise he makes. He looks back over at it.
So we're basically here because we're trying to figure some stuff out.
Oh, yes, the Thin Walls Cruise. A blatant attempt at taking souls from the passengers and applying it to the ship to allow for more multiversal travel.
Wow.
Do Magpie and I
Worms.
hear that downstairs?
Yes, as you guys pick yourself up out of the glass, you guys can hear, you can actually kind of move in a particular way. You can see them above. We should check on your friends. They're likely heavily cut up because I tossed them through glass.
Where is
Yeah, let's do that.
Vivori?
Vivori is inside the captain's quarters aboard where they are moving the ship. I would not recommend immediate attack. He would kill all of you quite easily. But I know the means by which he has weaknesses. I was planning to take this ship for myself.
Magpie will put the pin back into the grenade that she is holding and look a little disappointed. Be like, well, there is more than one way to skin a cat. Okay. Are we back together? Are we united with the group?
Yeah, he will leap down. He will pick Tremors up in an effort to make sure Tremors is not harmed. And he leaps down. When he lands, you guys get the feeling like Explorer 01 probably weighs a little less than a ton.
Okay.
He is extremely heavy.
Oh, does he?
And when he lands, yeah, that's fair. He lands, and then everybody kind of comes together, and you guys are in what looks to be like a supply room for the surgery, but only for a short amount of time. Because
in that short amount of time, as all of you show up for the first time, probably in weeks, Thana looks angry. We have to destroy this ship.
That's what I said from the beginning.
I know, but now I have
Destroying the
reasons
ship.
to agree with you.
Destroying the ship would not be advisable. You would be
Why?
trapped in another dimension.
Okay, so we got to get back and then destroy the ship.
That would be my advice. Or perhaps set it on a proper course to your own home before you destroy it, so that it may arrive shortly after your destruction is implemented.
Okay, well, how many stops is this ship supposed to make?
As of now, 7. After what you have done to ruin our trip, we do not know any longer. We are on the wrong course.
Tremors, when you took him over, did you keep the sarcasm? Like, is this, or is this just how he normally is? Or are you
This is
upset
how
with
I
us?
normally am.
Oh, okay.
I don't
Tremors.
get the worms.
Tremors is the coordinator of the park, the entire theme park. And thank you for having me here. I am happy to serve you.
How do we... could we, like, get out of here from, like, Murder Hospital? Is that
I
like a
assume
thing?
that we are currently attempting to get out of here, as this is one of the more dangerous places we can go. Unfortunately, this path leads to many dangerous places.
Okay,
and shortly after he says that, there is a series of storms outside,
okay.
and everything inside the ship now changes to looking a little more normal. But you notice that there is fungus growing.
Is
And-
fungus among us?
The lights kind of flicker, and go out. And down the hallway, you hear a voice. Hello? Are you there? Are you there? Don't you want to play with me?
Oh, no. 100% no. I whisper that very quietly to the group.
Where are you?
Hey,
Are you hiding from me?
I'm gonna look up at Explorer 01 and be like, hey, where are we now?
Explorer 01 kind of gives you a little shrug. And that alien creature is doing this right now. And you can read his mind. He's like, nope, none of this. Don't care for that. Don't like it. Everything about this sucks.
Okay.
If you're nodding like you understand what he's thinking, he's like, do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm thinking right now?
Yeah, can you understand me?
What are you saying?
Oh no, you can't. Yeah, okay, all right. This is one-way communication, but yes.
Okay. I can give you cover if you want to get the fuck out of here.
Okay, yeah.
Do you know the way out?
I look over at Explorer 01. Do you know the way out?
The best way out, in my opinion, would be to perhaps find some way to get yourselves back home and then destroy the engine room.
Okay, how do we get ourselves back home?
Where's the
Well, you
navigation controls?
That would be
the
with
question.
Mr. Vivori.
oh,
Then we must
Okay.
find Vivori.
let's go get.
You would need somebody who's an expert at getting in through locked doors. After all, he is very, very careful.
Oh,
That's
no.
so the issue for me.
Oh,
Did somebody say a locked door? Oh no, I sure hope I don't have to pick a lock. That would be I'm just kidding. Let's go.
I appreciate her sarcasm. Creator of the park, thank you so much for having me join your crew. I'm excited for the future. And certainly, if I get out of under the control of these worms, I will tear you all limb from limb.
That's fair. Which way are we going and our new friend will give us cover?
and he will point in the direction that you guys need to go, and he points in the direction of the little voice you're hearing in the hallway.
All right.
Sounds good.
Okay.
I'm gonna look at our new friend, and I'm going to very clearly point in the direction we need to go and mime running.
He will nod, and then he will close his eyes like, "God damn it," and then he will ease the door open into the dark and whip all of those arms around the corner and just kind of like, yeah, exactly. And then he'll just kind of like look and nod for you guys to move out, and will hover the guns above you so there's no chance he can shoot you as he's got you all covered.
I'll take point
Love this.
and move forward, and I'll also look to Espectro and kind of motion for him to join me.
Okay.
As
Are you here, Louise? Do you want to play?
Nope. Yes,
Here you are. Now I found you.
Oh, shit.
and
And you
I
hear
am
little footfalls heading your direction.
okay.
Okay. Let's just singularity.
Yeah. Moving forward, I will be, I guess, alert, ready to move. I also have teleport now, and am basically baiting and waiting for whatever this nightmare is to attack first.
You see, when the lights flicker, you see what looks to be a little girl with very long hair that stretches all the way to the floor, but she doesn't have feet. She has kind of like stubs that come to the end. And she's wearing a cute little fox mask. She has a nice little dress on. She actually does not look very intimidating.
Dead by
And
daylight.
as the lights flash over her, they flash again, and she is gone.
Of course.
Because I've now seen her, I can read her mind. Can I tell what she's thinking that she's about to do?
Her mind is extremely alien. The sense you get from it is a sense of, I need to grow.
Oh, I look at all the. You said this place was covered in mushrooms?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Oh, it's a mushroom girl. Mushroom girl. She wants to grow.
Okay.
We're gonna be food. We're gonna be food.
Just,
And you hear a little, I don't know if I can hear that up through the microphone, but you hear a little coming from another hallway in your direction as well. And in the flash there, you see another girl with a mask that has two large horns on it. She has a green dress, and she has two enormous braids that stretch all the way to the floor that drag behind her. You notice that each of her little footfalls, there's a little blood stain behind her, and she is dragging the body of one of the surgeons with her. And when she drops it, you notice countless white arms, because their skins are pure white. Countless white arms begin growing out of his mouth, and they pull the mask away, and they begin dragging themselves towards you. And she kind of giggles slightly and covers her mask like this. And I'll give you an idea of what you're looking at in the chat.
quick question. Does anyone have like a flamethrower handy? I foolishly went for a photon gun and now I regret everything.
Okay, counterpoint. What if we lure this creature so it takes...
Then, actually, no, Singularity, I need you to make a defensive roll as this, suddenly this surgeon bursts into speed with all those arms and drags itself to you.
Okay, so reflexive.
Yes, you're trying to not get touched.
Yep.
Oh, gross. Oh, I just saw a picture. No.
And the first one you saw looks something like this.
Oh, that's even worse.
Oh wow.
Love
For those at home who are not seeing these images, think about the worst horror movie child that you can think of. Add several arms.
And a
I
mask.
know you're here.
I hate that so much. What if we lure this creature so it takes over the cruise and then it destroys it? Or we could create another BBEG.
What did you get there, Singularity?
I got a 6, but could I also use teleport?
You can attempt to.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and roll. You're going to take 5 damage as when you teleport.
I subtract 2 from that.
Yep, you do. As you teleport, one of the hands of the surgeon pulls out a scalpel and stabs it into your leg, and then they try very hard to take one of those fungal arms and jab it into the wound, and you teleport away before that can happen. And it kind of drags some flesh with the knife as you teleport out of the path of that hand. And you hear all of the girls giggle as you begin to realize there are a lot of them on board this ship.
If they're all coming from one direction, I've got a massive scythe arm. Can I like do a sweep across them like I'm cutting grass? Because
by
this
all
is a
means,
bunch of...
and also to note, Magpie, they were well within plasma cannon range.
I was gonna actually say, can I just plasma cannon? That's the noise it makes. It goes plasma cannon.
Yeah, plasma cannon the shit out of them. By all means.
Okay, what is the roll for that?
That would be forceful or reflexive. I don't know. We said forceful the first time, but I think that's because it's the first time you picked it up. If you feel like it is more of a precision weapon, because it's whatever you want, because you thought about the way you wanted it to work.
Okay.
So whatever you wanted it to be is what it is.
Okay, cool. It's now a flamethrower. Retcon. Just kidding. 6. That's a 8.
8. Okay, you succeed with complication. What did you roll, Thana?
I haven't rolled yet because I figured she'd go first.
Okay, sure. By the way, Explorer 01 is standing in front of Tremors at all time. Whenever there is a threat, Explorer 01 just kind of crosses his enormous arms and stands in front of Tremors, not letting anything near them. Like, very, very... I want to note that Explorer 01 was the secondary boss for this campaign. Like, and you in one turn were like, that's fucking mine now. So, yeah, with an 8, you succeed with complication.
Okay.
What you do is because you imagined it as such, you turn it to plasma thrower mode. And it's basically an enormous beam, think sort of like Ghostbusters style.
Yeah.
And you start dragging it through, and the little girls begin screaming. As you whip it around and kind of like pull them, like blast them with it, you see a whole big chunk of them go flying off and land on your gun. And as you're like pointing at it, you notice that hands begin to grow out of the gun and snatch you by the wrists.
Oh no.
And make a reflexive roll to not get whatever's about to happen to you.
Okay. That's a 12.
Hell yeah.
Well, it's an 11 plus 1, so...
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you see the hands grip a hold of your wrists. With your expert kind of lock-picking dexterity, you just kind of like grab a hold of one wrist, spin it around, and literally pull the fungus out of your gun before it takes it over. And because I was literally going to have the gun grow legs and start chasing you and shooting you. You rip the arms off and kind of fling them away before they can jab themselves into you. You guys now have a clear path towards the engine room.
Oh, run, just go. Run. Everyone
Yeah, you see guy with the arms just like, blah, 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 blah. He just starts shooting everywhere he's seen these things. The panic is beginning to set in for him as he's like, oh, because like your empathy picks up, oh God, panic. And then your mind reading goes, shit, oh shit, what the fuck? I hate this place. I want to go home.
And I'm doing the motion of go, so that our
friend knows. Everybody, including
knows.
him. You guys begin to take off towards the engine room as through the portholes you see green lightning building up outside as you guys are about to shunt into another reality.
Oh, goody.
Here we go again.
Okay, so we're going to the engine room. We need to get inside, set the course. That's the plan?
Yes.
Okay.
And as you're passing, all of you notice actually what looks to be a robed guy who has a large mop, squeegee-style mop, is mopping up the blood of one of the hallways where you can see several dead guests aboard the ship. He turns and looks at Thana and gives you like a... and keeps going.
Ah!
Just to give you guys an idea what that looks like.
Ooh.
Oh, goody.
And all of you continue forward. You guys eventually get to what looks to be the engine room, and you note, Magpie, it is locked down. You get a strong feeling there is a lot of bullshit all over this door. When Singularity, Spectro, as you guys come to the door, you get a weird, ultra-dimensional, like, block on it. Like, there is something absolutely built into these walls and these doors to keep people out of the engine room.
Does it seem like a standard lock, or does it seem like it's more of like a, I don't want to say like magic, but an ultra dimensional sort of like...
I would say no matter what kind of lock it is, Safecracker allows you to get into it.
Okay. Yes.
I would say it is an ultra dimensional bullshitty lock, but you pull out your ultra dimensional bullshitty picks.
I did, as
and
it happened.
like, it is absolutely possible for you to do that.
Okay.
As you guys feel the ship beginning to shake as if you're about to appear somewhere else.
Do you want me just to go for it, team? Should we just...
Yeah, we'll cover you. Do your thing. Do
Okay.
your awesome thing.
Okay, so Magpie's gonna sort of like sit crisscross applesauce in front of the door, so she's like right eye level with the lock. And I guess I'll just roll.
Yes, go for it. That'll be, I think,
Here we
reflexive.
go.
If there's a way, I would like to use like pinpoint gravitational things just to assist Magpie in
Sure.
the sense of like, I need, like, this seems like a very complicated lock where like I would need to hold a pin in one location once I've secured it so I can move on to the next one, and I will use gravity to hold that pin in place.
Okay. I think that's totally
Tumblers
fair.
and things like
Add
that.
a +1 to your roll.
Okay, so the base roll was not spectacular. It was 5, 6, so then 7, and I'm gonna redeem my +3 bonus to bring it up to a 10.
Absolutely. You begin to work on this when you suddenly feel the shunt. And out the windows, you see a being that is enormous beyond enormous. It has 6 enormous horns stretching out from the sides of its head. In the center of its face that looks almost like a skull, but instead of where the face would be, there is a single white dot, almost like an eye, filling the center of its head. There are teeth that are locked in a constant grin with black ichor running down. This entire world is black and white, as is the entirety of the ship now. It is draped in robes and has a almost skeletal body underneath said robes, with a large black hole constantly behind it, where you can see countless little black dots that look almost like blood flying into the hole.
Okay.
You hear its voice as it peers over the ship. More. I need more. And it begins to shuffle towards the ship.
Is this Vivori, or is this something off the edge of the ship?
This is something tremendously worse, you would imagine. This is you get a very dark in the pit of your stomach. Oh no, oh no, oh no. The only thing you can see other than it is what looks to be a person on his knees weeping at its feet.
What's that person thinking?
That person is thinking, what have I done? No, I was supposed to help people. This wasn't what I wanted. Oh no, all those people are going to die! And he has a black crystal in the center of his chest. And laying by his side is a hammer with a large mouth that is constantly speaking.
Gross, but cool.
Love this place.
I'm going to use my 1 mile radius gravity bomb.
Absolutely.
Once per game, I can make it do something particularly severe or dangerous.
Okay,
with my
absolutely.
atmokinesis. And I'm going to target the entity.
Absolutely.
And I ideally, because of my repentance, would like to destroy it. But if all I can do is paralyze it so it doesn't harm anything, then that is what I would like to do.
Okay. Let me take a look. I don't think you can destroy this thing.
Yep.
I was gonna say,
That's fair.
Yeah.
if I see singularity powering up, I will point at the guy weeping and say, "His fault, his fault, his fault. That one, that one, that one, right there."
And the
Tally.
way I was going to do that is by manipulation over what looks like to be singularity points behind this creature, and gain control over its own thing.
That's so good.
Oh my.
Okay.
Give a mouse.
So you're
a cookie,
trying
give
to
a
take
singularity
control
a
of
black hole.
what exactly? You're trying to
So
take care
you
of which
described behind this creature there was like a massive black hole and a bunch of
Yes.
other singular that seemed to be weeping. Well, that's kind of my thing. So I'm, in order to make this
Crying.
gravity bomb work, I am
I
controlling
see.
that.
Okay. Absolutely.
so
So
good.
just so you know, it does say that it is dangerous and difficult to undo. So here's what happens. Magpie, you're like trying not to pay attention to the bad shit, and over there Explorer 01 looks to Tremors and just kind of like very casually whispers to you, like just this very calm tone.
We're all gonna die.
And you see Singularity wrench that hole behind it further open just as you click the door, and you feel all those safeguards wash away. You go to push open the door as the entire ship lists left from the Singularity that just got pulled even wider open. It begins to ripple and rip as this creature feels itself getting pulled further into it as it's trying to reach its hand over to you, and its fingers are just scraping the side of the ship. Just barely out of reach. And Cowboy Guy is like pointing to Thana and Magpie and pointing towards the door like, do I go in there? Like, and he starts shoving y'all in as this thing looks over to you, Singularity. Singularity, what is your character's real name?
My character's real name is... I actually have this written down somewhere. Hold on. Dr. Dryden Hollow.
Dr. Dryden Hollow. Your powers are weak compared to mine. And no matter how long you hold me here, soon I will have enough to be with you in your world.
I'll be waiting.
I look forward to seeing you, Doctor. Perhaps I will send my agent to you first.
And it is that point that you all shunt through the door. And you can always constantly hear the scraping of his nails, his bony nails, against the side of the ship as he tries to get closer. Explorer 01 looks over to Tremors and goes,
Well, this is a most unfortunate day, wouldn't you agree?
I mean, you're full of worms. You could have been sucked into a black hole. So,
I'll take the worms. I'll
Yeah.
take the worms.
Scale, you know.
Yeah, in the large scale of things. This is the engine room.
and in it, you guys see that you are basically in another dimension, a liminal space inside the ship itself. Here, everything is almost of a fleshy manner and stretching in large arcs that are constantly shifting around huge energy sources at the center of each of these arcs. They look like almost like small suns, but you don't feel any heat towards them. And these constantly swirling vortexes and such, there are walkways built in the places they never seem to go. And in here, you guys immediately can see that there are a collection of people that are working this that look a lot like the guy who got shot and stood back up. Very emaciated, but they don't all look human. As you take a look across, there are many different kinds of creatures that are emaciated and wrenched from reality the same way the humans were. You get the feeling that they cycle them out according to which reality they're in, to make it seem like everything is slightly on the level. And you notice that one of them drags and drops a surgeon's body next to one of these yellow orbs, and the orbs stretch tendrils out, whip it around the body, and yank it in, and the orb grows slightly larger.
Okay.
We're not gonna talk about that ever, right?
Oh, I'm going to put it in my diary later, but Tremors, can you get your new friend to tell us how to get us back to where we need to go?
Why do you hide from inevitability? Allow me in, I want more!
Oh my god, this guy is so annoying. Okay.
He's so needy.
Toxic X.
Yeah.
I should have a picture for you guys to give you an idea of what it looks like in here. I hope
Of
I
the
do.
flesh engine? We're going to see the flesh engine?
Yeah, you're gonna see the flesh engine.
Oh, goody.
So, Spectro, you have like an empathy ability.
I was going to use that on that creature, but sure. Yeah, for what?
I was just gonna say, you pick up a sorrow from Singularity, and a curiosity, a hatred, and a sympathy for the figure that was knelt before the big entity.
Oh, okay. So I just pick up this whole feelings things. I'm not used to getting feelings from anybody else, and I'm just Singularity. What is going on with you?
Some things men are not meant to meddle with.
I can't help but agree.
As you hear Mr. Vivori, his voice is in the engine room somewhere.
Wait, he's in the engine room?
It does not sound like it's through the speakers. It sounds like he is somewhere in the engine room where you cannot see him.
Okay.
Can I use empathy to focus on this person?
You can
Wally?
try. Let me go ahead and take a look. Yeah, you can sense a amusement steepled in enormous amounts of rage.
How
So I just point
big is the
to
room?
everybody. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, go.
I was just gonna say that I point to everybody to just where I sense that.
Yep, he is somewhere like to the right of the engine room, along probably one of the walking areas. And he will continue.
What is it you're trying to do? I don't understand the point. A few hundred people every 3 or so years?
Why does it matter to you?
What's the point? Answer me!
It's not the people, it's the fact that you're holding on to the souls. That's not the way it's supposed to be.
That's not the way it's supposed to be where you're from.
Yeah. And guess what? I'm here. And so now I'm going to make it here.
A guy's gotta eat.
Yeah, you can eat food. You can't eat souls. My friend needs those.
Small mortal being. I know your friend directly.
Oh, how'd you meet him?
Oh, I met him some time ago. He stepped to me and said that it was my time and I chose differently. I chose to live.
Oh, that's nice. That's kind of what I did. I just kind of talked him out of it, though.
Your friend is here, yes?
Well, he's kind of everywhere.
No, he's following you. I wonder if it is for me or for you.
Maybe both.
Espectro, I knew you somewhere.
Who are you?
This power you have, this gift, do you truly know where it came from?
No.
Allow me to explain. You see, I bring people on this cruise in an effort to give them something they can't have anywhere else. Something amazing, stupendous. And then in return, I get a little something for myself. They're everlasting souls and an engine that allows me to continue my work. But they have so much fun on the way out. Most of them don't even seem to mind. But sometimes, somebody very interesting comes along. A family member of yours, somebody close, once took this very same cruise. I think you believed they were disappeared. In an effort to protect you, they asked me for a gift. And that gift I granted to you. A change. Something beyond life or death, something in between the thin walls of reality, made flesh through you. You can thank me whenever you like. And if you truly want to see the depths you can reach, the power you could have at your fingertips, you will kill everyone with you, and I will show you the true nature of what you are, and perhaps even bring you back to your family.
You just see like this. I start to like flickering in and out from reality. And you just see this intense look to whatever the sound is coming from. And I just say, it was you. I was always invisible in my life, or whatever it is. But this time, I am gonna be the last thing you ever see. And I just shift into Ghost Albert form, and I whisper to the alien to get on top of me, so we go directly to this guy and attack.
Absolutely. He shouts as you do this.
Short-sighted!
Short-sighted! I couldn't trust you with the simplest decisions.
And then you are on him, and in a alien voice, you hear, "Howdy," and just immediately start shooting. And the battle has started. For all of you, you can each do different things. You know that these engines you have to find some sort of way to destroy them. It stretches an enormous amount of distance in here. There's a lot of exploration that can be done.
I got that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got that. We need to get home first.
Yeah.
Right. So for any of you that want to try to do anything weird or esoteric within this room, there's a lot of control that can be had within this room. Magpie, you have the deepest understanding of how things work in here. Tremors, everybody in here looks like a target for your worms. For those of you that just hurt things, by all means, there's lots to hurt. And Singularity, it seems like you got a plan in mind. So by all means, there is no turn order in Fist. We're going to kind of like go thematically and kind of go with like each character sort of like scene shifts. So we're going to start with a Spectro and our Cowboy, who is
Cowboy Alien, let's go.
Cowboy Alien is going to start shooting Vivori, who looks very different, I should specify. He no longer looks like a person. In reality, he now looks sort of like a being made entirely of space with a eye floating in the dead center. I will send you a picture. He is bright blue. He is still wearing a suit.
I mean, you may be a horrific being from another dimension, but you gotta be smartly dressed.
Yeah, you gotta look good.
Yeah.
And Ethan might like characters that are dressed in suits. So he has like a kind of like all of his slick back hair is now flowing universal energy. He has the glowing eye in the center of his eye that like in his head that looks like a galaxy. And he has flowing, constant like energy rippling across his body. You get the feeling this dude is serious business. Yeah, he is kind of reminiscent of another character of another campaign. And you get the drop on him. Make a roll. He does not know you know where he is.
Oh, okay. That's whatever it is, but I it's 2 6s on the die.
Oh!
Nice.
Super success.
A critical success. Not only do you hurt him, but something incredible happens as well. So go ahead and roll your damage, and then we'll come to a conclusion on what amazing thing you do.
What is
Fistful
the
of
damage here?
success.
What are you attacking him with?
I guess I'm just using my form to just like tackle.
Sure.
And go
We'll say 1d6.
1d6. Okay. Oh, that's a 6.
Hey, rock on maximum damage too. Do you have? You don't have prosthetic, I don't think.
No.
So you fly in and land on him, like kind of like you see the gun guy kind of strafe him with bullets, and the bullets hit him and just kind of sink in. He's ignoring that and looking for you, and as he turns, you're just kind of ghastly in his face as you describe what you want to do to him.
Okay, so I just go directly in Ghost Owlbear form, and I go through him, and he just feels the sorrow that Singularity is feeling, my rage, my huge rage that I feel for this person, and the whole nothingness and void that came from me feeling whatever the void thing was, the past.
Rock on.
Emotional
As you-
damage.
Emotional damage.
Absolutely.
Literal.
I love it.
As you do this, you all see Espectro dive into his body. Roll me another d6 of damage. That is your critical success.
That's 4.
So you do 10 total damage. Let me do some math. This ripples along his form. The problem is, nobody sees him fly back out the other side. On the inside of Spectro, as you are floating in his body, you are in a chasm of endless blue universal light. As you are a tiny being before him, as you hover just outside of his grasp and he glares down at you. Feel free to check the chat to see what it looks like.
Beautiful.
Oh my god.
As he looks down at you, he looks so... you can feel the fury coming off of him in waves. As the rest of you see, an enormous chunk of his universal form shred as Spectro does this. He kind of looks down and he's like, "You make me feel the simple feelings of the living, of the mortal. How dare you do this to me? I will crush you here until there is nothing left, and when I have the dust, I will spread it across the universe for you to feel pain for eons!"
It's called humanity. Maybe you should try it. And I just feel more rage coming from me, and I try to explode that in the same thing.
He shrieks out in fury. And you feel yourself getting, like, kind of whisked around inside, and we will come back to what you're doing. So what is everybody else doing?
I'm looking at Magpie and Tremors and going, how do we get back? What do we gotta do? You point me, I do the thing.
Yeah, do we have, can we see, Vivori from where we are?
Yeah, yes, you can see him now. He's kind of stumbled out and he's leaning against one of the guardrails, and his form keeps like rippling and shifting, and like he seems caught up in something.
Okay. I'm gonna look at Explorer 01 and say, how do we set a course, for home?
In here? Oh, that will be very difficult. It will require extreme precision. You see, we have the tools up at the front, but it'd be very dangerous to go there. Uh-oh. We're about to shift.
And somebody paid for a reality shift. Here we go.
Here we go again.
While that is happening, Singularity will say, if everyone can course correct this ship and get us home, I can assure that this ship will not exist any longer, but I will not join you any further.
I mean, okay, well, we can come to that when we get there. I like the noble sacrifice, but also I have a backpack full of bombs. So, you know, I'm just saying, we don't have to die today.
So you guys...
I also have a friend, but I love this idea.
you guys see the shift in reality, and you are floating in space. You take a look around, you're like, oh, cool, I can breathe. And you see these long, delicate fingers move up to the ship and kind of pluck it and put it into a, basically an enormous, what's the word I'm thinking of? The rotation around a planet. I don't know what it's called. Orbit. It puts you in an orbital path around what looks to be a creature made almost entirely of watercolor paints that is very large, but unlike the last enormous creature you saw, this one seems benevolent and kind of chill and just doing its thing. The ship rights itself from where it was listing prior. I will post this.
Oh, that's so pretty.
There's like 4 arms. 2 of them are holding planets by strings. The other 2 are carefully like maintaining the orbit of these other planets around. You are now one of the orbiting structures around it. These planets are enormous in comparison to you. And you kind of like, but you're not being affected by their gravity outside of the gravity around this thing's missing head where it should be. It's in these enormous watercolor looking robes, and it is very, very pretty. It would be a lot prettier if you guys weren't in a hellhole of an engine sucking in the bodies of people, and you know, this divine being or whatever it is trying to kill everybody.
Explorer 01, can you just like plug into the system and set the course from here, or do we have to do it manually from the front?
It would have to be, I could plug in here and you could use me as a console.
I mean, would that be okay with you?
I don't have much of a choice. I'm filled with worms.
Okay, well, yeah, but consent is important even if you're filled with worms. I just wanted to check in first.
I destroyed an entire planet because it was a theme park.
Okay, you can be a console. Okay, shut up.
We all appreciate the moral attempt, though. We all appreciate
Listen, I'm
that.
just saying, it doesn't, it's filled with worms, not
it's
filled with
appreciated,
worms.
but you get the feeling this guy's pure dag nasty evil. He will sit down and his chest will split open, revealing 3 screens. And you see a very complicated set of controls as 3 tendrils appear from the back of his head and enter into one of those glowing orbs. And it is at this point that the attacks begin. I need Tremors, Thana, and Singularity to all make attempts to not get hurt. As attacks are now pouring in from the beings who are here. They appear to be firing spines of bone at you.
So this is a reflexive roll?
Yes, please.
Do I clock that they are spikes of bone?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so as those spikes are coming, Mags is gonna look up and just hold up her hand and activate the thing that I've been sitting on the entire game.
Yes, we're not even gonna make you roll. I think it's super fucking cool.
She's gonna activate her telekinesis, which is specifically on calcium, and so she will just stop the bones midair, and if possible, I would like to then turn them around and send them back at the guys.
Oh, absolutely. Make me a reflexive roll as Explorer 01 goes, holy shit.
That's so freaking
That's
cool.
a 4, 5, 6.
I look at Explorer 01 and I'm like, I've seen this dozens of times and it's cool
6
every
is a
single time.
Fail. We do have a +3 unclaimed.
You do.
I already used mine though. I don't want to take it from somebody.
Take mine.
Okay. So that's a
nobody
9.
judging.
Oh, cool. Take it.
Okay. Then that's a 9.
All right, you hit several of the creatures, and 2 of them go down. Maybe a damage roll. It's 1d6 plus 1 is what those bones were doing. So
that's a 3.
3. Rock on. You kill one of them. He immediately shudders and then just kind of slumps. Another one gets hit, and the complication is he swings like over the railing and lands in one of those big tendrils that are warping over the energy, and he kind of hits it, but because he's not dead, his soul is kind of like causing it to have issues as you guys feel the entire ship begin to spin. Like literally in a big circle, the ship is now going like in a constant cylindrical, and you hear Explorer 01.
Oh yes, this is great.
As he grips tightly into the floor beneath him, Cowboy Man is like trying to figure out where a Spectro is, and it's like, like my buddy's gone. But so Magpie, you are going to be working on this. Make me a reflexive roll. Tremors, Thana, Singularity. What are the three of you guys doing?
I guess I'm going after the things that just tried to attack us. Because
Absolutely.
I got to cover Magpie, so I'm going to charge at one of those things.
That's an 8.
Rock on. I'll keep it in mind. Tremors, what are you doing?
I'm also going to just I'm trying to make sure that Magpie can do what they need to do. So I'm gonna go through the room and just cover their 6 and bite people.
Absolutely. Go for it. And then Singularity, what are you doing?
I am using both heavyweight and teleport, probably even rage, as I am just warping through this, going through one singularity into one and appearing somewhere else, as I'm just ripping this engine apart slowly, but holding it together enough so that it doesn't... I'm waiting for an opportune moment, is basically what I'm doing.
Absolutely. Okay, perfect. So, Thana, make me an attack roll with reflexive, I assume? Or would you like to do something else?
I'd love to do forceful instead, because at least I don't have a negative. So that's
Go
a 10.
for it. Absolutely. You go sprinting into these individuals. What would you like to try to do to them?
Oh, the scythe is out, and they were shooting little bone spears at us.
They are still doing the exact same thing as you're approaching. They're zooming by you as you come running in.
So I want the scythe to come down right in front of them to shear off whatever bone spurs they're using, and then back up directly into whatever this thing's head is.
Yeah, roll me some damage.
So that is 6.
Hell yeah, that one's absolutely toast. You kill 2 actually, as you chop through the first one and cut off the bones and then drag it back through. You split this thing in half and it falls, and the 2 halves of it immediately, almost instantly get sucked into one of these engines. The second one, you stab in such a way as to drag him away from the engine and pull him out, and you see your friend waiting on the other side, kind of rubbing his chin, and he's like, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And then,
Thanks. I've been practicing.
I can tell. And Tremors, you come running up, and there are several of them. I'm assuming you're going to run up and bite.
Yeah, the first closest one, Tremors full foaming at the mouth, worms spilling.
Yes, make me I guess a reflexive roll.
I think in order to bite, it's
it's forceful. Yeah, it's forceful because
it's
it's centipede.
Roll.
Hmm.
That's a 6.
That's a 6. Do we have any floating +3s left?
Yes, one, because Lauren gave up hers to Katie, so that it still left one unclaimed.
Absolutely. Do you want to take that one?
Do I take it?
Do it.
I say go for it.
Okay, sure, I'll take it. So
All right.
then 6 plus the 3.
Alrighty. You are going to take 2 damage as one of them shunts a bone into your arm, and you get the bite off at the same time, and the worms wriggle inside it, and it twists and shakes, and then eventually kind of comes to and looks over at you, turns and starts shooting bones at another one. I'm gonna make a hits. Yeah, kills another one. And you see this creature begin shooting bones at the other ones instantaneously, just following your will.
Yeah, as soon as that that happens, Tremors is and goes to the next one.
All right, absolutely. You go sprinting along, just moving down to all fours to get that real speed going as you come up and come up and go to bite another one. We cut over to Singularity. You are make me some attack roll. Make me an attack roll because you are going ape shit.
So do you want forceful or reflexive?
I feel like whichever one you feel is right at this
They're
point
both
is
plus
fine.
2.
Go for it.
And then, am I using rage?
Yeah, I imagine so, because this is going to be a little dangerous doing all of this inside an engine.
That's 2. That's 9 total.
9 total. Absolutely. That is a success with complication. As you begin to... Go ahead and roll damage.
Got it. That. Ooh, no.
My cat is
That's 6 on
over
one.
here.
Ooh, 6 on the other.
Nice.
Hell yeah. So total of what, 12?
12, yes.
Jesus. Yeah, you see several of these guys get, like, dragged to the wall and then, like, pulled up to the ceiling and then flattened. You see several of them just go flat. You see one turn into the ball and then split into pieces. But the problem is, you've gotten to be so powerful that 12 damage is applied to one part of the engine. And that engine collapses
Well, I
as
was
you
trying
see
not to do.
large beams of light begin splitting. Go ahead and take 4 damage, Singularity.
Okay, good thing I healed earlier, because now... so that only takes 2 damage,
Yep.
because...
I rolled 2d6 for that. You got very lucky. As these beams cut across you, and you see your reality. Dr. What was your name? Dryden Hollow?
Yes.
You see Dr. Dryden's Hollow's reality across 12 different realities and live all of their lives at once. From start to finish, you live 12 lifetimes at the same time. And then you snap back into what everybody else sees as just a second of time. You just think about that for a little bit.
Cool. That's good.
What?
As we cut back to Magpie, you are trapped there, like, and you are now having to, like, hold on to things as the ship begins to spin, and you're going upside down, and Explorer is still sarcastically commenting every time, and he's like, you mistyped there. That should have been a comma.
Oh my god, thank you so much. That's very helpful. There's no sort of like you couldn't just make this like point and click. This is honestly, this is ridiculous.
I'm from a theme park. Everything has to be fun.
Oh my god. Okay. Hey, what can we this is important. Can we please make sure though as we're setting this course, can we please get Gunner? That I'm just going to name him Gunner. Can we get Gunner home please, because it seems unfair. He got roped into this. He did not ask for this. He needs to
It is
go home.
unfortunate to say that there's only one reality we'll be able to get to. You've already sustained so much damage to this engine room, you'll have to choose either his or yours. I'm certain that he will adjust, and perhaps at your home you will find a way to bring him back home.
Okay, I hate
You're
that
from
choice,
Fist,
but
right?
alright.
Just employ him.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, like, yeah, he seems cool, honestly. So, yeah, okay. I guess our reality, I was trying to be nice, but that's fine. Okay.
Take the alien trait, take the sharpshooter.
Right. We just keep everything.
Welcome to Fist!
Welcome to Fist.
We got Thrycreen on our side. It's great.
So, Magpie, as you're typing along and you get your 8, which is with a complication, you're just about to hit enter to set the course when you feel a hand grab your wrist and drag you up, and you are spun around to see one of the surgeons with a scalpel lifting and raising it down on you. I need you to make a reflexive roll.
Okay. Can I do something very
you-
silly?
Yeah, absolutely.
As this I don't know. Well, I don't know if I would have time to do it, but I took the trait freeze.
Oh shit, there's 2 freezes. I love it.
Can I do that instead, or should I roll
Of
first?
course. I
Okay.
think that's totally fine.
Okay.
So he grabs a hold of your wrist, he spins you around. The knife is a centimeter from your eye when time stops for everybody.
Okay. And so then would it be feasible to say that time would stop for everybody except for me?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, there might be somebody else who time hasn't stopped for, but we'll get to him.
Okay. So I would like to finish putting stuff in. Just make
Okay.
sure, double check. But now I'm like taking my time.
I will allow it because technically Explorer 01 is an object.
Does he still work then?
Yeah.
Okay.
He still works.
Yeah, so then I'm gonna say, we'll just have a conversation. And I'll say, okay, is there anything else that we need? I've bought us a bit of time. We have like an hour. Is there anything else that we can do here that can help before we try and get the ship back home?
Yes, I can think of one thing.
Okay, what?
And he snatches you with both hands.
Oh, come on. It's a double cross. Come on.
As the worms are frozen in time inside him. And he will throw you. You don't take any damage. It's just cinematic as he throws you across the walkway. And he's moving very slow. Because he's kind of sort of stuck in time, but isn't. You've touched him, and so he's kind of moving. And he looks over to you.
He looks over to you kind of frustrated and points towards you, and he's like,
I appreciate your sense of humor. I'll remember it when I tear your face from your skull.
what do you do?
Oh boy, what do I do?
It's
hold
a big
on.
whoops.
That's a whoopsie. That's a whoopsie.
How do you?
To note, from a strictly mechanical perspective, you succeeded in your roll. So the course is now set.
Oh, okay.
Everything's set inside him.
Okay.
It's just you have an hour to either figure out how to stop, because like.
I know what I'll do. I got
Okay.
this. Okay.
Alright.
Can I look around and see if there are any? Well, any like the bone spikes or like a dead body.
Yeah, there's several floating through midair from where they've been fired. There's
yes.
several stuck in the walls.
Okay, yeah, the ones that are stuck in the wall, I'll go for those. So what I
Okay.
want to do is I want to use my telekinesis to take the bone spikes and then basically blow them through the time grenade to try and destroy it so the effect wears off. Like just like
Oh,
undo
you're
it.
trying to use the time grenade to unstop time.
Yeah, so basically destroy the time grenade cuz
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Make me a roll.
Okay.
A reflexive roll, I think.
Yeah.
As you try to stop your own time from stopping.
That's a 9.
Okay, that's with complication. You send it flying through, and Explorer begins moving extremely fast. Even in this slowed state, he's a blur as he does 2 damage to you.
All right.
He swings his fingers like a scythe and slices up the side of your ribs, and you kind of fall down as his fingers turn into flamethrowers. He's like, I
must admit, I rather liked you. And he points all of them downward.
Oh no.
as the spike hits the grenade, and he looks and he goes, no. And it, you see the time ripple through everything, and the being outside the ship, though you can't see him, as it washes over him, you see one of the arms go and keep, just dust himself off a little and then go back to what he's doing. Back inside, you see Explorer 01 clinch up and sit down again and go, damn it.
Magpie throws up double middle fingers and then just goes back to work.
Absolutely. We're going to cut back to a Spectro. You are inside of Mr. Vivori.
Okay. I don't know how's this gonna work, but he's just gonna look at this whatever being he's looking at, and he just says, you know, for the first time in my life, I feel everything that I haven't felt. You told me that this was made from someone trying to protect me. And I feel this now. And he's just gonna try to, and for the first time in his life, he accepts himself as he is. So he's just gonna try to channel all this power of pride and just turn into this massive cosmic owlbear that just roars this person to fade into oblivion, and just looks like this, trying to channel that power into just being proud of himself.
you stretch larger and larger and larger as he begins to, in his enormous, colossal, like planet-sized form, begins to take steps away from you as you grow larger than he is. As you feel this pride, this energy inside you bursts out, and you come flying out the back of him as he staggers a few steps. Roll 2d6 damage.
Okay. That's a 10.
Okay, he wrenches slightly and staggers again and falls, and he kind of hits the floor of the metal floor of these walkways and kind of lifts his head and looks back at you. I need a reflexive roll as he attempts to attack you now.
Reflexive. Okay. So it's just 2d6, and I got a +1. Okay. So that's 8.
8. Okay, success with complication. He turns to look back at you, almost a fear in his single eye, as he says,
No, I've worked far too hard for you to stop me now.
and he will point a finger at you and blast you. You only take 1 damage. The complication, however, is that your arm is completely blown off.
Oh no!
You just see one of your arms just shatter as he points a single finger and energy flies from you, and then his form morphs so that where he has his back to you and he fired over his shoulder, you see his face meld into the back of his head and like the front of his suit become the back as he is now facing you and pushes himself back up. What do you do next?
I just feel like I have no arm. Thankfully, I have another arm. And I just try to slash this.
Absolutely. Make me a reflexive roll.
That's a 9.
Another success with complication. You...
Oh wait,
You
+1, 10.
10!
Yes!
Full-on success! You take your fingers and you jab them into his face, and unlike it's not like a normal eye, your hand goes through his head and you see a galaxy floating like inside of his body in the shape of an eye, and you just kind of like grab a hold of all of that and like spread it out and it just becomes dust. And you see his head begin to shake and wither as he says, just kind of like shocked, he's like,
This wasn't how things were supposed to go. I made you.
How did you unmake me?
and he kind of takes a few steps back, his head's kind of empty, and you see him hit the ground, and the complication is his body gets sucked into the engine. And all of the yellow lights become blue as everything in the entire ship that is still rotating begins to shake apart. What is everybody doing?
Oh shit.
I'm looking at Magpie. Are we going? Are we going? Are we going?
I think we're going. I'll look at the robot explorer and say, how much longer do we have before we get home?
Shunting back home in 5, 4, 3, 2. You see green lightning
Stretch across the sides of the ship, and then poof, you guys are now in a spiraling dart of a cruise ship that is flying across the ocean, like above it.
Can I try and fix that
Yes, you absolutely can.
with forceful?
Yeah, I think it's a forceful roll.
Okay. Do well.
You got this.
It's a 7.
It is success with complication.
I mean, the max I can
Here's
get was an 8.
here's what happens. You recognizing what's going on, realize that you can stop the ship, but taking a look at the energy pouring out of these, if this thing blows the way it's going to right now, it's going to take out probably Florida and most of Georgia with it.
Oh, I had a plan for that.
You know what you have to do.
So I will stabilize the ship, and you can hear the strain of metal, almost like is the weight of submarine under the pressure of water. Just you hear that as I exert that, and I hold in place, and I go, "You need to leave now." And you can just feel the weight of the room begin to grow as parts of this engine just fly into the center of my chest.
Yeah. Even Explorer is like, we should go.
As he says that, knowing what is about to happen, I'll say, me and my friend will see you later. And I'm going to activate Retreat, which you have a pocket dimension in your head that you can manifest physically once per session. You may roll, I have to roll for it to try to transport up to 4 other people there. So who I'm going to choose is Tremors, Magpie, Especto, and our new gunslinger friend.
Okay.
Goodbye,
and then
Explorer.
on a failure, one person is transported somewhere dangerous instead. You get to decide where. So here we go.
All right, let's see.
That's a 7. So success with complications.
Success with complications. Let me just go ahead and make sure I read this correctly. I think this is great, by the way.
I'm just like, you, and you. Let's go. And then
it is not a failure.
Yeah.
So everybody shunts, and you kind of take a second to make sure everything's there, and it's like.
And while we're in there, everybody gets 1d6 HP.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And as you all kind of come to inside this retreat, you realize that your very expensive Cyclops gear has all been left behind, which is your complication. So you know Elsa's going to be furious with all of you.
Yeah.
Small price to pay. Singularity, you are left with the lives you've just lived in this ship that is floating over the ocean thanks to your power. You can hear the screams of those who are still alive aboard this ship, very bad people, all trying to figure out what to do. As Explorer 01 kind of stands up, the worms kind of wriggling out of his metallic form.
Well, I guess this is it.
And seemingly just paying no attention to Explorer 01, Singularity says, or is thinking of the multitude, I think you said 12 different realities. He thinks where, one, he didn't make the choices that he did. And with that, he has a little bit of hope. And he goes, "Yes, I understand your words, Oppenheimer. I too have become death. But I will use it for good. And I will use Detonator and...
Roll 2d6.
Yep.
Somewhere Thana is just I'm supposed to become death. What?
Just so you know, the ship will be destroyed regardless. This is largely to decide how hurt Explorer 01 is.
Okay. Okay. Is it possible to also add rage to this?
Sure.
Yeah.
I think this is a risky, loud, bloody, and violent thing. I feel like.
Woo. Okay, I'll keep that one. This will be the third roll. Okay. So with forceful, that is 9, 10.
Yeah, success. Go ahead and roll the damage, and I'll tell you what happens.
8.
You, from where you are in the retreat, we're going to say there is a small window to watch the reality you left. You guys see the ship ripple from one side all the way to the other, from the back to the front, as holes begin to pop open in it and then suck in as you see the mast pull through the top of the ship. The bottom ends cave in and fold up like tinfoil. Everything inside it begins to just one at a time until eventually you see the entirety of the ship become a marble.
and we watch as the marble plunks into the ocean, and Thana lifts up her scythe and licks a finger and plays across it, like making it ring, which is her way of activating Morbid. As she's
Because you're in her retreat, everyone can see Death, who is a very normal-looking guy wearing a 3-piece suit under his robes with a scythe, with a pair of square sunglasses. Ayo.
Hey! I think we succeeded? Oh,
Yeah.
we can all see him. Great. Oh, Death, Magpie, Tremors, Espresso,
Expectro, but I got it.
Sorry. Expectro, and I didn't get the gun guy's name. I'm looking at the alien. Like, what was your name again?
I think that if the alien guy doesn't know what you're saying, so shrugs at you, and he'll say, I think that in the future his codename is going to be Cowboy.
Oh, that totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. Okay, but we're missing someone, so I need Singy back.
Okay. But we gotta make a deal about it.
Uh-huh.
You know, these things don't come cheap.
I know.
Tell you what. I will bring him back. If you can prove to me for the next hour you can do my job.
Okay. I mean, you know that's what I've wanted to do since we met.
Eventually, you'll get that job. But I need to know you really want it and you really can do it. It's a lot of work, a lot of dimensions at once. But granted,
I know.
After seeing this, I think you're pretty capable.
Aw, thanks. Okay, so where do I start?
I'll show you. And he will take his scythe and he will cut a hole in the retreat, and everybody, without any warning, feels gravity suck them out the hole as everybody but Thana tumbles out into the streets of Miami, including Singularity. Just so you know, Singularity, you are at you need to heal 1d6.
Hey, 5.
You're pretty good.
Hey.
You don't know how you are alive. You're not sure. A part of you feels like maybe it was one of the lives you led. Shunted here, given your mind. You know what you have to do to make things right. As all of you kind of like come to, Thana, you are floating in an endless sea of space with countless doors on either side of you. And you feel your friend clap a hand on your shoulder, and he's like, I'm gonna start with this one here.
Okay.
And he opens up the door to where you're going to try your job for the first time. Tremors. Somewhere in the ocean, a robotic being turns off his stealth suit and kind of wipes the dust off of himself as Explorer 01 mimics cracking a neck in the ocean where he's still sinking down. And he says to himself,
I have to get back to the creator of the park. They're going to need me.
Magpie, you are promoted. As Elsa frowns towards you and says, you've always been kind of a pain in the ass, but you're a damn good agent. I think we have some new use for you. And she's going to show you what looks to be a computer room from which you can control where the agents go, get all the intelligence. You basically are in control of where people are, where they go, and what they get in terms of backup.
You're the guy at the
The
chair.
Spectro. You go back home with a new sense of confidence. And you're sitting in your room, kind of like coming across everything that's happened to you. When you hear the familiar voice of a family member, is spectral and ethereal, reach out to you.
Is that you, son?
Dad?
I'm proud of the man you've become.
I'm proud of it too.
I want to show you something.
And you see a spectral hand reach out and take yours. And he pulls you through. And where you see through the wall, you now step into a ghostly plane where you can see your entire ancestry that has passed on in a hall of pure, like everyone is kind of ghastly. And you see that there is a place for you at a dinner table where they pull out a chair for you. And you sit with every ancestor who's ever had the same power you do. And you finally get the answers you want. And I think that is a perfect place to end our game of Fist.
That was amazing.
I wholeheartedly recommend that if you enjoyed this game, you go to check out Claymore's site, you buy Fist yourself, check out the Mandelbrot set. It's a campaign within the Fist universe that you can just plug in and play. It is fantastic. Everyone I've met involved with this game has been a pure joy. Thank you so much for your donations. We're so happy that you guys were here for this. Remember that we are not the last stream of the day. In fact, there are multiple streams still coming. The Bright the Day charity has many opportunities for you to donate and give to these kids who need it, and we're going to help them with the Emory Johns Creek NICU. I cannot thank my players enough. I cannot thank the crowd enough. Thank you so much.
We can't thank you enough.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
My absolute pleasure. Remember, the game is Fist. It is amazing, and we have lots more coming up. Stay tuned for, I believe, Kinsholm is next, correct?
Yes, that will be coming up in about 30 minutes.
Yes, so
I also want to say that we raised $825 during this session alone.
Good job, everybody.
So, thank you so much for making us all super powerful. Last night, we were trying to come up with traits and stuff like that for, I was battling which one to take, and I was like, Ethan, can we just have 5 traits?
guess what? Remember to check this game out. It's only $10. Sometimes it's on sale for $5. Fist is fantastic. It can fit almost any universe. It's awesome. Thank you all so much, and thank you especially to Claymore. She's been an enormous help. B, you are my hero. Thank you so much. Everybody, y'all have a great day, and stay tuned for Kinsholm. It's coming up next.